Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
Can't be true that some humans don't have souls, right? Right? Well, all right, guys, we're going out there into uncharted, strange territory. Dolores Cannon, everyone's favorite hypnotherapist grandma, discovered something really weird during some of her sessions. She used a process called QHHT, which is a form of hypnosis. She'd bring people into these trance-like states. They describe many things: past lives, life in between lives, life on other planets. But one concept I found to be kind of eerie, and this is the concept of backdrop people. These are people Dolores Cannon would describe as individuals who appear to be human but do not possess the same spiritual essence or soul as other humans. According to Dolores, these individuals are a part of a background or set of our reality, designed to fill roles and facilitate experiences without participating in the same spiritual journey or evolution as souled humans. She theorized that these entities were manifested by a collective or universal consciousness to play certain roles or perform certain functions, facilitating experiences for souled humans. Essentially, they are a part of the stage upon which our lives play out. So these beings would essentially be like extras in a movie. They're there, but they're only there to make sure everything plays out well for the characters that are in the movie. What do you guys think of these backdrop people? Post in the comments.
For NPCs.
We're not in a simulation, bro.
It's a UFO, the best UFO picture I think's ever taken.
You have it?
If you look at it, yes. No. We're going to look for it. Okay, so can you find the program trailer on here at all, or?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, find the program trailer. I'm going to tell you about this.
Is this the trailer?
Yeah, just the
Let's
trailer.
just watch the trailer.
All right, let's watch the
Explain.
story.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
You're telling me people have come forward claiming firsthand knowledge of craft of non-human origin?
That's correct. We have sources who have asserted not only that there have been crashes, but there have been crash retrievals.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries.
Were they human or non-human?
Non-human.
I'm sitting here today because the American people are being lied to.
We are the American government, and we are open, and we're going to be open about this.
What has been revealed, non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity.
Is only part of the story.
The pressure's on. The Pentagon, the CIA are going to have to answer the man.
Some are risking everything.
Have you had incidences that have caused you to be in fear for your life?
Yes, personally.
To uncover the rest.
What is being done to verify the assertion that the U.S. government has spaceships of non-human intelligence in their possession?
Well, looks like it's going to be good.
The photo's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that fence is still there. I took a
So what is that jet in the background?
A Harrier jet is what I'm told. They're 99% sure.
And was that Harrier jet trying to figure out what this was?
Well, like I said, in the other prints, according to Craig Lindsay, the RAF press officer, he said the other 6 prints or 5 prints had that Harrier jet in a different position. So he said it was as if the Harrier jet flew around checking that out. Now,
where are those other prints?
We have other MOD, just they're gone. They killed the story. I mean, the guy at the MOD who worked there, Nick Pope, told me that they did everything they could to squash it because...
Don't you think they probably have it filed away somewhere?
They must still have them.
Yeah, bro. They sent in the Men in Black.
There's a very specific idea about what happens to the soul after death, and that idea is found all around the world. It's found very powerfully in the Americas, South America, Mexico, Central America, and North America. But it's also found in Egypt, and it's found in Mesopotamia, and it's found in ancient India. And the idea is that upon death, the soul makes a leap to the heavens. Where it specifically leaps to is the Milky Way, and this is referred to in many cultures as the path of souls. And it's The soul of the deceased individual then makes a journey along the path of souls, and there will be confronted with all the errors and mistakes, and also all the good persons.
Like a judgment day.
It's like a judgment scene. That judgment is represented by monstrous beings and locked gates that you have to be able to confront. And this idea is just found all around the world. And it's one of the reasons that I find very persuasive to the notion that we've lost an episode of the human story. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think we're looking at the remnant of a very ancient spiritual system which was passed down in many different parts of the globe.
See? It's just not everyone has a soul.
Well, that makes them non-player characters.
Where there's a facial recognition van, you've covered your whole face up like that.
This man didn't want to be caught by the police cameras, so he covered his face. Police stopped him. They photographed him anyway.
There's no law. There's no law against covering your face. Yeah, okay, well there you go. You let him go then.
Well, maybe
For your face?
maybe it's because I don't consent to being on there.
Oh, right. Okay, why's that?
Because I think it's a bit of a government overreach.
Oh, right, okay. That's fine. Can we take your details down? Is that all right?
Don't cover my face, I cover me face. Don't push me out of the way, I'm looking overseas.
The police said this was disorderly behaviour, so they gave him a fine.
I've got a now £90 fine. There you go, look at that.
You let them know that he's got a right to cover his face and he can walk away.
The thing is, we live in a country which is free. We don't have to carry ID. So we don't live in a state where the police have the right to see your ID willy-nilly. This takes away my freedom because you're IDing me without asking.
You can't fart in this country without getting a fine.
If this happens to you, take the fine, don't pay it, go to court and ask them to show you the law where you can't cover your face.
Something big is going down on Wall Street that could impact all of us, and they are doing their best to bury it. In case you missed it, there is a scandal rocking the Bank of England, but this impacts everyone, American and abroad, and I'll explain why. The Bank of England is suffering from a gold shortage. Essentially, they don't have the gold they're supposed to have. Now, the lid was blown off this because the wait time to withdraw gold went from a day to 8 weeks, essentially indefinitely frozen, because they don't have the assets. So where did they go? Where is the gold? Well, supposedly, the majority of it has been shipped to New York. But the reason why doesn't make any sense. Supposedly, it's to avoid tariffs. But there never were tariffs on gold in 2016, and President Trump said he won't do any now. But that's not all. The math itself doesn't add up. 393 metric tons was sent to New York, but the Bank of England is supposed to have over 5,000 metric tons. This is less than 10% of the supposed total reserves they have. Where is the gold? This isn't musical chairs. You either have it or you don't. So Bank of England could well be lying about the amount that was sent and why it was sent. Because here's the kicker, there hasn't been this much total gold stored in New York as there was in 2020, and at that point everyone thought the world was ending. Today, people are optimistic. As much as you can be, but more than 2020. But what does that tell us? What do those in power know that we don't? Something big is coming, and they are preparing by shifting their gold around. That's all we know right now. But mark my words, they're preparing for something.
The Anunnaki took it, bro.
Come on, Ted. We know the economy's about to collapse.
January 6th Capitol rioters aside, there was one other pardon today that sent shockwaves around the world. Donald Trump gave a full and unconditional pardon to Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the dark web drug marketplace Silk Road. In 2015, Ulbricht was handed 2 life sentences plus 40 years over the website, dubbed the Amazon of the drug trade, an unfettered market for illegal drugs. Silk Road, named after the historic trade route, is thought to have sold over $320 million worth of drugs and was linked to 6 deaths. Ulbricht alone is thought to have made $18 million in Bitcoin commissions through the sales of stimulants, psychedelics and cannabis under the alias Dread Pirate Roberts, a nod to the ruthless pirate from The Princess Bride.
I know who you are. Your cruelty reveals everything. You're the Dread Pirate Roberts, admit it.
With pride. So why the pardon? In an online statement, Trump called the conviction ridiculous, saying the scum that worked to convict him were the sum of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern-day weaponizing of the government against me. But from the leader of a country with a war on drugs who once said all people caught selling drugs should be given the death penalty, it's a curious decision.
It's crazy he was going to be in jail for life just for setting up a website.
He served 11 years, bro.
Trump declassifies files on assassinations of 2 Kennedys and Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm safe to assume that the CIA is shitting a brick right now, but let's see what it says in the article. So yeah, Donald Trump has signed an executive order declassifying documents relating to the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. Bloomberg and the executive order published on the White House website. Now, Trump had promised to release the documents during his first term as president, but ultimately yielded to a request from the CIA. Of all organizations, the CIA, why would the CIA tell him not to do it? That's so strange. To keep most of the materials classified. And yeah, I think at that point, as everyone knows, when he did first get in, he didn't even think he was going to get in, and he had surrounded himself with people that were obviously trying to influence him and try to avoid specific secrets coming out. And then when he left, that's when they all tried turning on him, and this all happened. So now he's coming in full force, and it's even more funnier because RFK Jr. is part of his squad. So it's going to be fun to see what secrets unfold. I feel like a lot of the CIA is going to be draining the swamp.
There's no way they left anything on file, bro.
It might make people question the original evidence.
Apparently there's this whistleblower that went on 4chan recently, and he's like, they found in this cave in Antarctica this egg-shaped UFO looking thing, which that's what we talked about a week ago. And apparently after this came out, it gave this one guy the courage to disclose this stuff that they found in Antarctica, supposedly, of this same egg-shaped UFO. What's also strange is he talked about the hieroglyphics that a lot of people reported seeing on these UFOs. Same thing happened with this UFO. Also, there's like a weird sarcophagus, very similar to the one that we talked about in Russia where that lady was in. But yeah, that first picture, some of it looks almost like Hebrew. That looks just like that letter in Hebrew. Kinda looks like Florida. Apparently, in that sarcophagus, they're calling him a tall, Nordic-looking alien, pale skin, long blonde hair, 7-8 feet tall, woke up and was conversing with them. And supposedly there's an interview. It doesn't really sound real. If it's legit, what?
It'd be crazy if there's hieroglyphs in Antarctica.
It's ancient Greek, bro.
Okay, hold on to your butts. This is going to be a rabbit hole.
I can tell you when I was in ATIP program, several of us spent a good deal of our time looking at ancient script, ancient Sumerian and cuneiform or hieroglyphics or runes. And
Lou Elizondo said on the Sean Ryan show that they were investigating ancient writing when he was in ATIP. He listed off a bunch of different types of languages, but there was one that he left out, which is interesting, because Lou Elizondo used to work at To the Stars with Tom DeLonge, and Tom DeLonge has mentioned ancient writing as well in past interviews, and here's what he said.
Some people that have worked in these facilities have all talked about ancient hieroglyphics being on these craft, and they look like ancient Greek. I am told that they are ancient Greek, that there is a major connection to the hardware that we have and the ancient Greek gods.
And as crazy as it sounds, we actually have some examples of this in the lore. For example, the Roswell wreckage has some ancient Greek on it, and what it says is Eleutheria, which means freedom. And I've come across this word freedom before in the CIA doc. Check this out. This is a declassified doc from 1960 talking about geomagnetism in the oceans. And this scientist came across Africans in this expedition who had a greeting, Nkuru, or freedom. But he also casually drops that this chain of islands off the coast of Africa is the remnants of Lemuria. Could the crafts that they're studying have been Lemurian or Atlantean or something? Let me know what you think.
That's insane if it's true.
It's true, bro. Modern languages are designed to control us.
What is doublespeak?
Doublespeak is language designed to evade responsibility, make the unpleasant appear pleasant, the unattractive appear attractive. Basically, it's language that pretends to communicate, but really doesn't. It is language designed to mislead while pretending not to.
Is it done consciously?
Oh, yes, very consciously. Doublespeak is not a slip of the tongue or a mistaken use of language. It's exactly the opposite. It is language used by people who are very intelligent and very sophisticated in the use of language and know that you can do an awful lot with language.
Who's the worst offender?
In sheer bulk?
Yes.
Sheer numbers of examples? The government. If we count government from the local level all the way up to the federal level, I had to stop
writing the chapter on government doublespeak, it was going to take over the whole book. But interestingly enough, and this was a revelation in doing the book, about a half a step behind comes business with a tremendous amount of doublespeak.
That'd be a good subject for a deep dive episode.
It's all about control, bro.
13 is an unlucky number, we're told.
It's a satanic number.
Well, but it's called an unlucky number because originally it dealt with Jesus and his 12. Jesus and the 12 make the 13, upon which a new order of life would be established on earth. The conspirators have then seized upon this term of the 13, Jesus plus the 12, and have begun to build on that a new world order. You had better look at the idea of why an Egyptian pyramid is on an American dollar bill.
Well, it's a symbol of slavery, Jordan, because that pyramid was put together with slave labor.
Right, but it was also one of the greatest bricklaying projects the world has ever known. And bricklayers are referred to as brick masons, so it is a symbol of the Masonic orders of the world.
That makes sense.
And it is a very powerful symbol that has been used by the ancient secret societies, and I am here to tell you that that pyramid called Cheops Pyramid is a very important symbol to the world Illuminati.
And they're constructing the Illuminati Luxor up in Las Vegas.
No, I understand.
On Las Vegas Boulevard. It's up there with our cameraman here. And is that a new hotel? A new hotel, 33 stories. I mean, with the capstone.
What's the significance of 33, Anthony?
Well, I think Jordan would be better able to answer that.
It is weird they have pyramids on their money.
It's part of their rules, bro. They have to show what they're doing.
One of the things that I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. Rules state that they have to tell us what they're doing. Therefore, if we allow it to happen, we have consented to tyranny, we have consented to enslavement. Now, if you get into the secret history of the cabal, Queen Elizabeth's royal astrologer, a man named John Dee, who is the prototype of the wizard with the long beard, the hat, and what he did was to rediscover, through these ancient documents that were in the Vatican, the technology of how to access what they considered to be spiritual beings that were useful to them, but what we would consider to be demonic or evil beings. These beings need to be accessed through a very complex set of rituals and ceremonies. You cannot just ask for them to show up. You have to follow very elaborate and specific protocols. So John Dee rediscovered the technology of how to draw the magic circles, how to say the right incantations, how to actually do black magic on a governmental level. This is what people are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens, is that these people actually practice black magic.
They're all Satanists, bro.
Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
The Great Pyramid itself is made up of 2.3 million large limestone blocks, with the stones ranging in size from 2 tons all the way up to 80 tons. And despite looking quite small from a distance, when up close to these limestone blocks, you realize how massive they actually are. Many of these stones were taken directly out of the bedrock from the Giza Plateau, but some of the larger ones that make up the intricate interior, weighing up to 80 tons, were somehow transported from a town 500 miles south of Giza. Kinda crazy to think about, because even if the mainstream Egyptologists are correct that the pyramid was built 4,500 years ago, it would still predate the invention of the wheel by roughly 300 years. Now, I'm not one to doubt the creativity of man, especially the ancient Egyptians, but in a day and age where we have airplanes, skyscrapers, and invisible internet waves delivering feet pics to people across the globe in an instant, moving an 80-ton rock, even with today's technology, is no small feat. See what I did there? For instance, here's an image of a 30-ton construction vehicle attempting and failing to move a large limestone rock. And here's a video showing that even our most powerful hydraulic cranes struggle to lift rocks of this size. And those are steel cables, not the bullshit papyrus ropes the ancients supposedly used to drag these stones into place using wooden rollers and wet sand.
Now, Egyptologists will tell you that, oh, they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand. Well, maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do. But when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all.
I'm just gonna make an educated guess and say that wooden rollers would stand zero chance of being placed under 80 tons of anything. Which leads me to the cuts on these stones. Every stone making up the pyramid was not glued into place using concrete or mortar or anything like you'd expect. In reality, each side was cut so precisely and placed so delicately that the joints between every stone making up the pyramid fit so perfectly together like Legos that you can't even fit a razor blade between them.
Go check out our last episode, bro. Mr. Beast hired the pyramids for 100 hours.
You'll probably enjoy Mr. Beast's girlfriend's video more than his.
Almost 100 feet underground lies an empty sarcophagus submerged underwater, built in honor of the god Osiris, supposedly creating a portal to the underworld. Wow. How could the Egyptians possibly have built this deep thousands of years ago with limited tools and equipment? In the corner of this tomb is a hole that no Egyptologist can fit in. I might just be small enough to go deeper than any person has ever gone in history.
I am in Osiris' tomb. Okay, that's fine.
Why did they make this hole? How far does it go? And where does it lead? What purpose does it serve? If I go any deeper, I'll get stuck. And there's no telling if anybody will be able to save me down here. I use my filming device and stick it up as far as I can. I possibly just filmed the deepest anybody has ever gone inside of Osiris' tomb.
It's crazy they got to do that.
I think she might be trying to expose Sahi's lies, bro.
I'm standing in front of the Sphinx of Egypt. As you can see, it has the body of a lion, but it has the head of a pharaoh. Now, some people think the head was built afterwards because it has different stone and just looks smaller. Other people think it was always meant to be this way. The nose has fallen off over the years, and there's a lot of theories about how that happened. Some people think that in the olden days, people shot cannons at it. I don't think that happened.
Not a lot of people know that you can climb underneath the Sphinx. It's just highly illegal.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, the ancient Egyptians
All right, Tyler's coming.
had Crocs.
Come on,
That's crazy.
I have my Crocs back.
Oh no. Alright, this is funny. Okay, yes, I will retrieve it.
Huh?
Does it go deeper than that?
I just went up above the wood.
Okay.
And then it goes nowhere after that.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I did it for no reason.
Okay, great.
Also, I don't know how I fit up there.
Yeah, I have no idea. This looks impossible. This is crazy. I am inside the Sphinx right now. Less people have been in here than people have been on the moon. You sure about that?
Yeah, alright. Goodbye!
Bye! Oh no! I'm locked in. Ooh, a plant? No, that's plastic. What the frick? Who's it there?
What's that boarded up tunnel? In Mr. Beast episode, they said there was nothing under there, it was just a hole in the ground.
That's what I'm saying, bro. She showed what Bright Insight's been saying for years.
Movies like Minority Report envisioned a machine that would predict crime, and today we have Face IDs that track you. The Truman Show predicted a reality show takeover and a weird fetishization of being obsessed with someone else's life. It's pretty obvious if you look around that we're living in pretty much that. Hell, someone just got rich and famous for joking about spitting on someone's.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk and spit on that thing. You get me? Hawk and spit on it. Spit on it.
Idiocracy, however, might be more predictive than both of these movies combined. Idiocracy makes economic, political, and cultural predictions that would make George Orwell roll over in his grave. These are macro trends that will permeate the world for years to come, especially these new trends that are flooding our dopamine receptors just to sweep us all away. Of course they want Idiocracy because the dumber and more impulsive you are, the more of a herd animal that they can tax and pawn cheap credit on.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Truth be told, Idiocracy is a utopia compared to what is coming. With that said, here are the predictions from the film you should be the most worried about. The English language has deteriorated into inner city slang and various grunts. In the future in Idiocracy, the English language deteriorates into a hybrid of hillbilly, valley girl, and inner city slang, and also various grunts. It's sort of like a Migos song or an episode of Jersey Shore. Look around you. We don't speak English anymore. We speak American. The once respected Oxford English Dictionary now reads like messages between middle schoolers with new words like frenemy, staycation, frankenfood, worstus, and hangry. And this isn't to be an old man waving our fists at the sky. There's actual data to support that our verbal and total IQ scores are going down. According to the data from the Journal of Intelligence, IQ rates have been dropping since 1995. Simple reaction time, considered an essential factor that directly affects our general intelligence, has slowed significantly since 1889. And compounding this is smart people are having fewer and fewer kids, if none at all. Sure, language evolves, but don't mistake every new word as a step up. Evolution isn't always a progress. Case in point, Idiocracy and the word tarded.
Don't worry, Scro. Now there are plenty of tards out there living really kick-ass lives. My first wife was tarded. She's a pilot now.
From the common sense materialism perspective, a lot of this has happened because we ignore problems in the current age, hoping that they will go away. There's an objective world out there, independent of your consciousness, and things you don't like won't go away just because you stop paying attention to them.
No one wants to have difficult conversations these days.
And this Brett will be lucky if it turns out like Idiocracy, bro.
More deadly even than these soul-destroying drugs is the menace of marijuana.
At the start of the 20th century, most of what we think of as illegal drugs today were actually legal in the United States. Marijuana was sold in drugstores, and doctors even recommended it as medical treatment. But during the 1930s, anti-marijuana campaigns were launched across newspapers and other media, portraying cannabis smokers as rapists, addicts, and monsters. Most notably was a propaganda film, Reefer Madness, released in 1936.
You know, I remember seeing that movie a long time ago, and you know, I think it certainly speaks to the fact that people were not really familiar with marijuana.
The Federal Bureau of Narcotics was created in 1930, with Harry Anslinger, an infamous prohibitionist, as its commissioner.
The Treasury Department intends to pursue a relentless warfare against the despicable, dope-peddling vulture who preys on the weakness of his fellow man.
That guy looked fucking miserable.
That's what you were like when you stopped smoking for 3 years, bro.
I wasn't that bad.
It was a long 3 years, bro.
It's good to have a break from time to time.
You only quit because your ex made you, bro.
Hi everyone. My name's Sackhead.
Hi, Sackhead.
Hi. I'm here today because I'm addicted. To weed.
Hell no! You in here for some marijuana?
Yeah.
Marijuana? Man, this is some bullshit!
Told you, bro.
Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck for coke.
I seen him!
Fucking hell, man. Now that's an addiction, man. You ever suck some marijuana?
Huh?
Nah. I don't think anyone ever has.
I didn't think so.
Boo this man!
Told you it was a bad idea, bro.
They are giving us the wrong dates. We used to have 13 months in a year, 28 days in a month, and 1 day of rest, resurrection. This was even mentioned in the Bible. We have 13 lunar cycles, and each cycle being 28 days. The ocean's tides are 28 days. Women's periods are also 28 days. And then we have 13 zodiac signs, not the exoteric 12. Many ancient cultures used this 13-month calendar system. For example, the Native Americans used a turtle as their timekeeper. See, in every turtle shell you'll see 13 sections in the middle for each of the months, and then 28 sections for each of the lunar days along the rim. See, the New Year's really starts in spring, keeping us fools on April 1st as they disconnect us through our natural cycles.
Our calendar is not quite right. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days. With one day, the day of resurrection, Easter, as a neutral day. That's our 365 days. We've actually got 13 constellations, not 12. This same calendar is very close to the Mayan calendar, but it's also very close to several ancient Sanskrit calendars. What does sept mean? 7. I thought that was the 9th month. What does oct mean? What does nov mean? What does dec mean? It's supposed to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Jan is 11. Feb is 12. March is 13. April is our first month. Babies are born in the spring, the 1st of April, Easter. This is the start of our new year. This is the start of spring when the flowers start coming up, the grass starts coming up, the trees start leafing out, the babies are born. That's the first day. Our neutral day, day 1. The day we rest and celebrate the resurrection, the new beginning, the beginning of Christ. April is month 1. And then we lost a month in there. Where is it?
13 months does make a lot more sense.
It was the Romans, bro.
This isn't like some mystery movie or Goldfinger, James Bond. This is really going on. This is wild. This is historic.
Starts with gold, and I've been following the comics. There's something going on with gold, and nobody really knows what it is. Somebody here in the United States is buying a crap load of gold. Somebody is taking huge physical deliveries, and it's causing shortages in London, where they buy and sell gold. There's shortages now of gold because somebody is buying it and shipping it here. Somebody with very deep pockets. Okay, so why? Now this is all theory. That's fact. Here's the theory of what's going on. They're preparing for a full-on gold audit. We talked about this yesterday. The government right now claims on its balance sheet as an asset all of this gold, and it's valued at $45 an ounce. In case you haven't heard, it's $2,900 an ounce. So they're talking now about boosting the price of gold, at least market to market, but maybe even making it $5,000 an ounce, okay? If that happens, the balance sheet starts to fall into line and our debt to GDP is not as bad as it really is.
They started doing this around the time Jacob Rothschild died.
It's the shift of power, bro.
The first conspiracy I ever remember hearing, how when Nixon got us off the gold standard, he had been told that the gold had been shipped to Europe. It's official. Senator Rand Paul says a criminal investigation is being launched by Doge into the missing gold, not just at Fort Knox, but other Treasury Department vaults in New York and other areas. That's why they've been shipping it back as fast as they can the last 5 weeks ahead of Trump getting inaugurated. We've literally caught them with their pants down in the crime of the century. This will further completely devastate the deep state and legitimize, supercharge the already completely constitutionally legitimate actions of Trump, investigating these federal agencies and finding massive fraud everywhere that doesn't just save the country money, it will also bring down the deep state for the crimes they have committed. This is so historic and so critical.
It'd be crazy if they actually expose what they're doing with all this gold.
They're getting it ready for the Anunnaki, bro. They're coming back.
You're involved with exoskeletons, correct?
Last night, I ran a sub 8 mile in an exoskeleton. If I'm able to just put on an exoskeleton and run a 7-minute mile, imagine what that could do on a Navy SEAL. That is where the Navy SEAL is going to be in just a few years. I think it's going to be hard for robots to compete with that guy.
How does the exoskeleton work?
Different exoskeletons work in different ways. This particular one basically is sensing your motion based on your actual motion. It actually has an onboard AI algorithm that is trying to predict what you're doing, and then it applies force that matches. And then the crazy thing is eventually, someday, and I think this is way out just for a variety of basically invasive surgical reasons, eventually you'll be able to read those signals right from the brain directly. Imagine a world where you're wearing an exoskeleton where the moment your brain is telling your arm to move, the exoskeleton starts moving your arm. You could potentially make someone who's literally 10 times faster at moving or reacting. That's going to be the Navy SEAL of the future. And that guy is going to be a beast.
Holy shit.
I built a device many years ago. I've screwed around with it a lot of times. It basically is a small sensor that you can mount that is able to tell when you are flexing muscles on your face. And I hooked that up to another electrical actuator. You ever use a TENS unit? It's a lot like a TENS unit. And I made it so that whenever I barely start to flex a muscle up here in my face, it sends a signal wirelessly to a patch I have on my arm that fully fires this tendon and makes me pull my trigger finger.
It's a bit concerning that the benchmark of how good these suits are is whether they can take on robots or not.
They've got no hope against killer robots, bro.
We now actually know what happens when we die. In some of the biggest news of the century, we've now got evidence suggesting that your life carries on after you die, and it gets a lot crazier than that. Make sure you share this video with your friends and family because you don't want to miss this. So an old woman was passing away, and as she died, they had her hooked up to a machine which was monitoring her brain. Now, what scientists got from these scans after she passed away was these photos, which don't look like much right now. But what these show is that a part of the brain, specifically the part of the brain that processes memories and experiences, was still active after death for around 8 minutes. And this is crazy because years ago I made a video saying about the 8 minutes after death and how your brain is still active. They did tests before on a man who died and found similar things, but nothing as concrete as this. As I say, from these scans, it showed that the brain was still active for around 8 minutes after this woman passed away. And specifically that she was processing memories, i.e. her life, flashing before her eyes, the common term you've probably heard. So this suggests that when you pass away, your life does flash before your eyes. You get memory flashbacks and maybe relive parts of your life. It also links into the theory I've spoken about before and many people have said. Think about when you have a dream. Sometimes dreams can feel really real and time's different, time dilation of course. Sometimes you'll have a dream, it feels like an hour but you wake up and it's been about 2 minutes. Well, the same might be happening in this 8 minutes after death. Reliving memories, what feels like days, weeks, but is only in the 8 minutes. Or maybe even like a lucid dream, creating some sort of new reality. So what's to say you're not dead right now in that 8 minutes, and this is all just a figment of your imagination.
Yeah, but if our brains are like computers, when you unplug a computer, there's still electricity running around in it for a little while.
Shut up about simulations, bro. We need to stop AI.
You guys are really out here just prompting games out of thin air. Claude drops a new model suddenly. Levels.io has 5,000 players flying around a multiplayer voxel game that he built in a day. 1.3 million views. And a microtransaction later, and he just might outlast Ubisoft. Oh, that's AI slop. That would never work mainstream, you say. Well, right now, a game about clicking a banana is the 6th most played game on Steam for the 10th month in a row. And if those players aren't having fun, you know who is? The goddamn AI. Because not only did David Hershey use it to recreate Pokemon, he made the AI play it. Genius. This guy just prevented a war against machines with Pikachu.
People are underestimating it because AI video is still janky as fuck.
People think we make our show with AI.
Fuck that. Everything you see here is real and made by us. Go and check out our Mothman special.
We make dioramas for our specials. The Mothman was 3D scanned and controlled by our friend in a motion capture suit, bro.
Yeah, we didn't just type Mothman into some shitty AI video generator. It was a labor of love.
It's getting too easy for people to make stuff with AI, bro. People are gonna lose their jobs.
So what are the best things about working in AI in 2025?
is that while I'm out joyriding at my wheel, I've got my 8 GPUs back there, fine-tuning a DeepSeek R1 distilled Llama 3 8 billion parameter model, and fine-tuning it with medical data to reason, diagnosis, and next steps of action for physicians. And it's all being done while I'm out joyriding. So, gotta love it. Gotta love AI in 2025.
This guy's a fucking idiot. He's bragging about how smart he is while explaining that he's actually fucking useless.
People are working for AI now, bro.
Microsoft have just shocked the world after announcing that they have created an entirely new state of matter. Yeah, you heard that right. It's not a solid, liquid, or gas. It's a phase of matter that only exists at the quantum level, called a topological state. So, what the hell is a tech company doing making scientific breakthroughs? One very important reason: quantum computing. Because yes, while we're all currently talking about AI, there's another less spoken about pursuit that would drastically change the world as we know it. And after Microsoft's quantum chip breakthrough, which I'll get into, it now seems more possible than ever. Let me explain. Remember that scene from Endgame when Tony Stark asked Jarvis to run a bunch of different simulations to see if his models would work for time travel? Well, essentially, that's the capability of quantum computers. Currently, if scientists wanted to create, let's say, like a new material that self-heals so that buildings would just fix themselves, or clothes would stitch themselves back together if torn, well, they would have to trial and error their way through the discoveries. They'd mix a bunch of chemicals, test their properties, and hope to find something useful. But this can take years. However, kind of like how Jarvis did with time travel, quantum computers could step in and simulate a bunch of different materials at the atomic level with extreme accuracy, predicting their properties before they even exist. Essentially, they could exponentially speed up that trial and error phase. And that level of problem solving could tackle so many issues we face today. Cure for cancer? Sure. Climate change? Why not? Nuclear fusion for potentially limitless clean energy? Sure. But where the hell does Microsoft come into all of this? Well, they just said that the chip that they created, the Majorana 1, has the potential to hold more computational power than all the combined computational power that exists on the planet, and it fits in the palm of your hand. Yeah. And they were only capable of achieving this because of that new state of matter that we mentioned earlier, the topological state, and it is wild. Now, because Majorana particles hiding quantum information from environmental noise means nothing to you, think of this new state of matter like this. If normal states of matter are like ink on a paper, where a small mistake like smudging it with your hand ruins everything, a topological state is like a tattoo, where even if the skin stretches or moves, the design stays intact. More simply put, this state of matter is more resistant to errors, and this stability could help Microsoft solve the biggest problem we currently face with quantum computing, which is error correction. And while this is a genuine breakthrough, we're not like fully there yet. It's more of a we made the engine moment rather than we just made the entire car and you're ready to go. They would need around 1 million qubits to start solving those real-world problems at scale, and currently they've created about 8. But it's still damn impressive.
They've made a new form of matter that gives them the power of every computer on Earth, and it fits in the palm of your hand. Sounds like black magic.
I'm telling you, bro, it's the mark of the beast.
Today, we're attempting to sneak into Diddy's mansion to uncover the truth. Federal agents claim to have found baby oil, hidden cameras, amongst other disturbing things in there. Many people believe the media is fabricating these stories for views and refuse to believe their favorite artists could commit such heinous acts. So we felt the need to investigate firsthand and provide you with an unfiltered look inside his mansion, despite the potential consequences we could easily face for doing this.
Well, about to go into fucking Diddy's mansion. This is kind of fucked up. There's tons of surveillance and signs.
What are we thinking if the cops come? Like, is it just like every man for himself? Like we all are just dipping in different directions, or?
Everybody dispersed is definitely the best.
I don't think there's any way we actually get charged because the homeowner is in jail.
You can just say there is a flyer and somebody inviting us to a party.
Oh yeah, I'm going full-blown troll mode.
Which is the worst prison in Atlanta.
Well, about to go into fucking Diddy's mansion. This is kind of fucked up. There's tons of surveillance and signs.
Get far away from the cops, bro. If there are any cops, like get far away. I'm not gonna like just pick you up for the cops.
Fucking hell, did they get inside?
Yeah, bro. Check this out.
Not sure. I'm like curious if the flashing blue lights happened because my drone was like close to the house and it detected movement. But I doubt it. Maybe that's just me overreacting. No, I highly doubt it. There's no way. Holy shit, dude, this is so nerve-wracking. Dude, look. I just see a sign that says cameras. We will end up like this. Is that cameras? I can't tell. See on the corners? Should we hop it? Should we send it? Yeah, I think let's do it. I'm not seeing any camera. It looks like they started renovating, obviously, and it looks like they pumped the water out of the pool. Okay, I told them to drive around and like do loops, make sure the front doesn't have cops. But I'm just like super scared, like a sensor's gonna go off and it's gonna start like blaring. Oh, what the fuck is that? That thing right there looks like a sensor. Maybe we could try on that side. If there's gonna be a camera, it's gonna be where it's super well lit, like right here. There's some still water left, I think. Should we go below? Okay, yeah, sure. This is super far deep. They got this place locked down pretty good. There's no way in. No way, really? Nothing? Yeah, they got this place sealed up. Is there stairs on the other side? Bro. What? I'm in. What? I'm in. What the fuck is that? I don't know. Some kind of light. Oh, the light is coming from the second floor.
These guys are nuts.
They get caught on camera, bro.
He's mansion. Everything went down. Everything went down here. This is like unreal now. I can't imagine like the amount of like suffering has gone on in this house and the amount of f***ed up things. Let's keep going up. We can see cars from here, which means they can see us if we shine a light. I really like want to push a button. This is a massive property. Yeah, no cops. This house is so huge, bro. Like, it's actually massive. Yeah, watch out. Don't fall through the weekend. Literally die. This could kill us. This is so dangerous. The cops are coming. There's blue light. I don't even know if there is active surveillance. I haven't seen a single camera. What was that thing out there, though? I don't know. Maybe a sensor. The thing is like, it's so expensive to like actually actively surveil a place. But then again, this is like such an expensive property. Look at this. What the what is that, bro? Gotta be careful. Make sure this is not yellow and fall. Yeah. Oh, this is so scary. Is this just drywall? I don't know. What is this? Yeah. I think it will hold. Oh god, just don't want either of us getting hurt, man. Oh my god. What? It's Diddy's AC unit. Oh, that's the original. It's the OG. So, yeah, there was 16 bathrooms here. Dude, what do you need 16 bathrooms for? That's... And 8 bedrooms. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, this place custom built, you think? I wish, like, all the appliances and stuff were still here, because there was, like... Apparently somebody told me there was, like, baby oil in the fridge. Dude, this is, like, right window view, bro, I think. Yeah. Right. Yeah, no, don't worry. But dude, this is so crazy. We literally like pulled up to this place thinking that it was gonna be like hella locked down. Looks like they have security cameras and shit. But they bought $20 lights on Amazon and just filled the whole house with blue flashing lights. I literally called, did I not? You think there's a camera if we go that way, or you think we should be good? I believe like there's no cameras inside this house. Like, we should hurry, walk through here though, because we're playing view of the window. Yeah, this place is completely gutted. Looks like they nailed the door shut. Oh, bro. Bat just took a picture of you. Oh shit, let's go. Yeah.
The last thing we wanted was to end up like those guys in the sign. If we took the front entrance the same way we came in, the cops would definitely be waiting for us. That left us with only one way out. But that meant disappearing into miles of dense, pitch black woods with no clear path. Not to mention going out through the back meant cutting straight through private property. And in a place like this, getting spotted there could end way worse than just dealing with police.
We're lucky they didn't get shot.
They made it out alive, bro.
You're putting us into the Matrix. This is the Matrix.
Scientists have just combined human brain cells with silicon chips.
lucky.
Cameron does one. It's better on them.
Yeah, so this is where they live. So they get mature in an incubator, and they get plated inside that center portion there. And then we put them in this metal chassis. And this is what we call that cap, the metal cap. So we can see right through the middle, so we can image the cells using a microscope. This is input, this is output. And so if you trace it all the way through, input will come from one of these filtration units. So the way it's designed.
So for people who don't know, because we just spent a couple hours talking about the chip that goes in here.
Yes.
That has something like 800,000 neurons on it. Right. Biological cells.
Biological cells.
That are doing well, not AI, but human intelligence on a chip. That's
correct.
You're putting us into the Matrix. This is the Matrix.
This is the Matrix. Ish.
Cortical Labs has created CL1, the world's first biological computer. It combines human brain cells grown in a lab with traditional silicon chips to create a smarter and more energy-efficient system. CL1 can learn and adapt faster than normal AI, making it useful for medical research, drug discovery, and robotics.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Imagine if that's what we are. Just cells on a chip in someone else's matrix.
We're more than that, bro. We're not in a simulation.
What do you think is more special, intelligence or consciousness?
I think consciousness, and I think that there's a deep connection between these ideas. They are distinct, but they're deeply connected. As a physicist, I look out at the world and I see its particles governed by physical law. We can name them. You know, we got electrons, we got quarks that come in various flavors and so forth. We have a list of ingredients that science has revealed. And we have a list of laws that seemingly govern those ingredients. And nowhere in there is there even a hint that when you put those particles together in the right way, an inner world should turn on. And it's not only that there's no hint, it's insane. I mean, it's ridiculous. How could it be that a thoughtless, passionless, emotionless particle, when grouped together with compatriots, somehow can yield something so deeply foreign to the nature of the ingredients themselves? So answering that question, I think, is among the deepest and most difficult questions that we face.
It's because we were created, bro.
Yeah, but I still think we're in a simulation.
My name is John Bolerjack, and for the last 4 years of Stanley's life, I was his assistant, his confidant, but most importantly, his friend. I traveled the world with him, witnessing firsthand the incredible highs of his legendary career, but also the heartbreaking lows. Stan spent his final years enduring mistreatment, manipulation, and betrayal at the hands of a few very bad actors.
Is there any way to get us out of that San Francisco thing? Or do you feel we gotta do it?
At the time, I didn't have the power to stop it, but I did have a camera and I filmed everything.
Whoa, watch out!
Now I'm asking for your help to finish the film and finally get justice for Stan. This documentary includes firsthand accounts from key witnesses, including comic book legends like Rob Liefeld and Roy Thomas, as well as many others who saw the chaos and unethical acts. This isn't speculation, it's all on camera. Undeniable.
This is old Stan Lee coming at you. No, you're not old.
Irrefutable.
I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
No ambiguity. With your help, we can finish the film, expose the truth, and give Stan the justice he deserves.
What the fuck? Why didn't he just sit by and film it?
He was taking advantage of him too, bro.
I'm going to share with you some insights on the film from some of the most well-respected creators in the industry.
I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect.
When I saw the documentary, I knew some of it, but like most people, I didn't know all of it. And there were pieces of it that blew me away.
It's a lot of emotions, dude. It's a crazy roller coaster.
Seeing Stan in that situation, being taken advantage of, was really hard to watch. Because I just think, you know, I was thinking my parents and my grandparents.
So I think it's important that people see that even the guy at the top, the most successful comic creator, isn't protected.
This film shows behind the curtain that not a lot of us fans get to see.
This isn't just a fluff piece trying to
attack somebody, this is like, I'll just show you in their own words.
I had no idea how badly he had been exploited. And that's a message that people need to hear.
I really miss Stan, and just watching it just felt like I really got to know him again. My thing that I hope that, this documentary really does is, shine a light on what was going on truly with Stan Lee.
This is bullshit. Why is it on Kickstarter?
He's trying to raise a stupid amount of money to make the documentary, bro.
In the trailer, he comes out with bombshell claims that Stan Lee spent the last years of his life enduring mistreatment, manipulation, and betrayal at the hands of the people closest to him. He went on to say that at the time, he didn't have the power to stop it, but he did have a camera and he filmed everything. And after setting up the whole plot, he then speaks directly to the public and he says he needs our help to finish the film so that he can expose the truth and bring Stan the justice he deserves. He then announces a $300,000 Kickstarter so that he can get this documentary over the line. Oh my lord, if John thought that this, the public was gonna get behind it and support it, man, that massively backfired. There are 46 comments on his Kickstarter, and every single one of them paid just so they were able to call out this project. Some of the biggest YouTubers are now making videos on the situation, including Penguin Zero. It's going hugely viral on X, and you never want to go viral on X. And people are commenting saying things like, if you were by his side for the last 4 years and filmed everything, why didn't you say something when it mattered, not 6 years after he's already gone? Honestly, with the backlash that this proposed documentary is now getting, I wouldn't be surprised if he deletes the whole Kickstarter by the time this video goes live. And unfortunately, looking into this video, it goes so much deeper than just John. It is truly horrible stuff.
How the fuck did he not have the power to do anything about it? If he filmed it, just upload it to YouTube. The internet will take care of the rest.
He's taking the piss, bro.
Also released was some exclusive clips from that documentary. Now, one of these you really have to watch to get an understanding of what we're gonna go through.
Now, are you ready to give a riveting speech? You're gonna change lives.
I thought I was finished with that. What do I have to do now?
It's never over.
You what?
I said I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
No. Once we're done, we'll get out of here.
Now, what do I do here?
Same thing. Talk about you. We'll make some new questions.
But I don't have the.
Yes, you will. Yes.
You get your money's worth out of me.
Every single penny.
Penny, like 5 pennies.
It's hard to watch.
They're scumbags, bro.
Yeah. Pretty bad. So the guy behind the camera is John, as you can see by the long hair and the tattoo on his right arm. And he is the one that said to him at the very beginning, you're never over, which I get it. It sounds a little bit like a joke, but it's not, is it? And he says that to him after Stan says he thought he was done. The next guy that comes over and is in a lot of clips of this whole thing is a man named Max Anderson, and he was Stan's road manager. Now, here's the crazy part about Max, because he and 3 other guys, including Stan's own attorney, let me just say that with a point, all were accused of elderly abuse and financial exploitation. And these were the people whose literal only job was to protect him. That's like freaking going to your doctor because you got lung cancer and they prescribe you cigarettes. That's what it's like. Now, the worst of these accusations, at least to our knowledge, was undoubtedly his business manager, Kia Morgan. Now, Kia was actually arrested and charged with elderly abuse, forgery, and fraud.
This is disgusting. Can't believe this happened to Stan Lee.
They're gonna get what's coming to them, bro.
You're telling me you've had this footage for years, incriminating evidence of Stan Lee being taken advantage of, and instead of releasing it throughout the years to spread the word about the injustice he faced or giving it to authorities about potential elder abuse, you've instead just sat on it, keegling it until now, compiling it into this documentary that you're now looking for $300,000 to finish to pay for things like casting, wardrobe, hair and makeup, music composition, a soundstage space, visual effects. Like, what the fuck? If the goal is justice for Stan Lee, this feels highly unnecessary. I don't think you need a visual effects department on standby to cook up some CGI for it, you know? Like, you don't need Blur Animation Studio on the horn to do some kind of 3D render of like a reenactment scene or something. If you've got all this incriminating evidence, it feels a little weird to be asking $300,000 from people to crowdfund a pretty bow to put on all of this and like elevate it to like a Hollywood production where they want a set constructor, like they want to build a set, like I don't know if they want to like recreate Stan Lee's home 1-to-1 or something, or you know, as well as like a sound stage, like what, like you refuse to release the footage unless everything, like all the testimonials can be filmed on like a Blackmagic Pro 45K camera or something?
Why would he need all that money? It's Stan fucking Lee. The majority of people in the film industry would do it for free.
It's a money grab, bro. He's getting torn apart on Kickstarter.
Have you seen the DMT experiment with the laser?
I have seen it on Instagram and I heard you and Danny talking about it, so you've done it.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram and flew Danny to my house right away.
Like, break this down for people because it got shared amongst my group and it's like, what the fuck?
Exactly. And that's the only question you're still going to have after you see it.
It doesn't answer any questions. It just invites a lot more.
Yeah, nothing else. There's code. Absolutely, there is code.
So the code's not like spinning there. It's like, it's literally like kind of written out static?
It's static. I can move the laser up and down and see all of the letters, but it's like 3-dimensional. So I can get close to the wall. I can look down inside of the laser that way, and I can look up in the laser that way.
What's your best guess at explaining that?
I would be a fool.
Okay. We can just leave it at that.
Maybe it's a universal consciousness.
We gotta do an episode about DMT, bro.
We should do it after the 420 special.
That's wrong. Like Cocomelon. I don't know if you've seen the fucking documentaries of Cocomelon.
Kind of messed up.
Dude, so like, for example, a Cocomelon show for kids. It's for babies and shit. Like they watch it, and the reason why they watch it
hypnotizes them.
Like actually?
Yeah, they have a cut every 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds long, and that's like, and then they get kids and children in a room. They'll put National Geographic stuff like a real bird, and they'll put the show, and they'll watch when their attention goes to the other screen, and then they'll notate that.
They did scientific research in order to just absolutely dominate a child's mind.
Yeah, and then the gamma colors. The reason why it's so contrasty is because those colors don't go together, and the eye is attracted to them.
That's actually disgusting.
And they do that on purpose, and that's why, like on a Cocomelon too, they'll have subtitles. They're almost impossible to read for even like an adult.
Right.
They're not there for anything. It's just more movement.
Was allowed.
There was an uprising of parents because the shows would like you would watch Cocomelon, and parents are like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like my kids love this. Like it gives me some silence because my kids aren't and then when the show's off, they go ballistic because you're taking away their dopamine instantly. It was a whole documentary that came out because some guy, I think it's Sunny V2 on YouTube.
I've heard of that.
Investigated the entire thing and got internal emails explaining how they're doing things and getting more ratings, and then a bunch of like stories about families, the parents, like the kids just have behavioral issues, they get anxiety issues, they have psychological issues now because they're growing up as a baby watching this one show that just hooks them and nothing else affects them in the outside world because it's so calculated to capture their attention before they post something.
It's fucking insane.
This is so fucked up. If you've got kids, don't let them watch this shit.
It's destroying their brains, bro.
Did you know that it is possible that we are living in the year 1728 instead of 2025? Now, this is a very interesting theory called the phantom time hypothesis, where it suggests that 300 years of history never actually took place. In the 1990s, a German historian named Herbert Illig came up with this theory, suggesting that the Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II altered the calendar to be the year 1000, purely because it sounded more significant. This would be like a coffee shop opening up last year and changing its sign to say, serving coffee since 1967 versus serving coffee since yesterday. It just sounds better. Anyways, let's look at the evidence. Up until the year 614, the Roman Empire was still around, and we have tons of records of war, leaders, daily life. They built major cities, aqueducts, and advanced technology, like inventing concrete, road networks, even paper. And then, after the year 911, we have lots of books and documents around medieval Europe. People were inventing mechanical clocks, windmills, better farming tools. But between those years, there's almost nothing. No big advancements, no major discoveries, virtually no change in population, very few written records. This is why this time is often referred to as the Dark Ages, because we literally don't know too much of what actually took place. So did just nothing happen for 300 years? Well, let's look at architecture. In the 600s, the Byzantine architecture was very popular. It had these big domed roofs, golden mosaics, and highly decorated interiors. Now, if you look at the Romanesque architecture, which was popular in the 900s, they have a relatively similar build. Large fortress-like buildings with thick walls and stone carvings. If 300 years did pass by, wouldn't we see a bigger difference in architecture, suggesting that buildings like these were actually built closer together and not 300 years apart? Back in those years, the calendar wasn't as solidified as it is today. In fact, they had 7 major calendars being used at the time, all of which would track time differently. So it is very possible that time was added or removed in this time frame. It happened, and more than once. So that is the bulk of the theory as to why we could actually be in 1728 and not 2025.
We should do an episode on the Roman Empire.
I want to do Tartaria first, bro.
ChatGPT, begin color tracking on the color black. Change tracking color to blue. Change tracking color to yellow.
Further instructions?
This is a new product I'm developing. It's a fully automated AI-enabled pneumatic nailing tool. And I think this is going to be super transformational for the construction industry in 2025, so keep an eye out for more updates.
They fucked, bro.
That's terrifying. What happens when it don't want to obey anymore?
This is a liquid robot that can pass through gaps as tiny as 1 millimeter, change into different shapes, move in any direction, and even rotate. Plus, it can be completely controlled by humans without any physical contact, just like Spider-Man's Venom. While this technology is still evolving, it is already proving to be a game changer for solving major problems. For example, in complicated surgeries, there will be no need for incisions. These liquid robots can literally enter the body and smoothly operate on tumors or even remove blood clots. They can also heal internal wounds. In fact, they can even act as tiny pipelines to reconnect damaged nerves, helping restore motor functions in the body. These robots can also repair machines and devices on their own. They have potential uses in spying, security, and so much more.
Told you, bro. It's gonna be like T-1000.
Don't worry, mate. We'll be alright. Shit. Let's fucking have it then.
Get down, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bitch, what's up now? Trust me, bro. Skynet's coming.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they're using direct energy weapons on civilians now? Check this out. This happened in Serbia. Little backstory, there was a massive protest, hundreds of thousands of people. Peaceful protest. They were actually standing vigil for a group of Serbians who died in a building collapse, which they're blaming on government oversight. Basically, they opened a building before it was ready, and then the building collapsed, killing dozens of people. So they were in the streets for that, and then this happened. Pretty horrific. You see everyone part the seas like Moses there, and then like apparently it sounded like it was a shock wave. It was like there was a plane flying super low close to them, they said. Their ears were popping. Supersonic weapon? Anyone?
I split the crowd up like it was magic.
It may as well be.
Your role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in? I didn't realize that. Yeah. And you shared that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
Mm-hmm.
We should do an episode on Bill Gates, bro.
We're skating on thin ice already.
Sometimes wearing rainbow colors isn't about orientation or politicization. Sometimes a rainbow is just a rainbow. Like when 10-year-old Hunter Blankenship picked out his glasses. This car-loving autistic boy wasn't making a statement, he just loved the look. Until the day he didn't.
He hated them, he wanted to break them.
And that's all because of that one bully. Megan Fancher,
unfortunately,
is Hunter's mom. And she says a few months ago, Hunter was outside playing when an older kid teased him about his glasses, called him a homophobic slur, and then told Hunter he should just himself. Hunter took that literally.
Literally. All of a sudden, he stormed off, and he's holding a knife. And I was like, no, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to myself.
Hunter spent the next 2 weeks on the psychiatric floor here at the Children's Hospital in Birmingham. And just before his release, his mother, desperate for some way to show Hunter that people care and life can be joyful, posted this small request. Could we arrange a few people to bring cars and trucks to let him see?
See if I can get 4 or 5 cars to just come down my driveway when he comes home. That would have been more than enough for him.
But that's not what you got.
That is not what we got.
What they got was Sergio Sanchez, a local restaurant owner here in Clanton, Alabama, who saw the post and put word out to car clubs.
Cars all the way from North Alabama to South Alabama, they literally had to shut down downtown.
They shut down downtown?
Yes.
Roughly 1,500 show cars showed up, along with more than 1,500 friends that Hunter never knew he had.
He was, oh, there's my favorite person, there's my other favorite person. We're running to everybody.
And all of them big fans of rainbow-colored glasses, which Hunter now wears proudly.
There you go.
Thanks to that gathering of car collectors driven to make a difference.
It did. It saved his life.
Kids can be horrible, bro.
This is a great example of the consequences of spreading hate and the consequences of spreading love, all in one clip.
No, this is not photoshopped, and people's heads will all start to morph into this.
A dent. I have a dent. It's a f***ing indent, bro. You don't.
Scientists predicted that many internet users will all have mutilated heads in the near future, and their heads will dent. However, this is no longer a prediction and is now happening across the world. People were terrified when Twitch streamer Curtis had shaved his head for charity.
Dude, the shaver's working like a champ. Dude, I have like an indent right here. This is where my headphones go. I have a fucking headphone indented in my head?
Curtis was terrified to see the start of a dent. Oh, but there's more, because it didn't just stop there. This prompted other gamers to shave their heads and to post their shaved heads to speak up about it. Streamer Tim the Tapman posted a terrifying photo of what his head has turned into.
Is there a dent in my head? Dude!
Many people have now been opting out of using headsets to avoid this, but it might be too late for many. The scientist's prediction also talked about gamers' bellies as well as their hand shape. So, which will be next?
That's insane, bro.
I can't believe that. How did I not notice when they touched their head?
In this video, see if you can figure out what's real and what's AI. Is this gazebo real or AI? It's AI. The barbecue? It's real. This hamburger is fake. Which one of these is the real purse? This one. This is a potato. This shit. It's real. This shit? It's AI. Is this building real or AI? It's real. It's called the shell. Here's a hard one. Which potato is real? This one. This is a potato, but it was AI generated before. What's AI in this scene? Virtually everything. I can change my background like that. Which toilet paper roll is real? This one. I need a prop budget.
Can't trust anything you see anymore.
It's getting out of hand, bro.
Have you heard of the theory that the Trumps are time travelers?
Grab me a DeLorean.
This connects to, guess who? Nikola Tesla.
No way.
Nikola Tesla died in the New York hotel or something. And within his hotel that he had 80 plus trunks of all his patents, his designs for different technologies, all this stuff. Guess who they sent first to go and collect the stuff?
I don't know.
John G. Trump. Donald Trump's uncle.
What?
Weird.
So the theory is that he took some of these trunks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But Tesla said that he had figured out how to bend time.
Yeah.
And so,
as one does,
the theory is Donald Trump's uncle took this, created a time machine.
Oh my gosh.
And traveled back in time and like did all this stuff. But then the weird connection is there was a book that came out in 1896, and it's called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
Okay, so someone else named Baron Trump, or you're saying
do you know
it was actually Baron Trump?
Do you know what the book was about?
Time travel?
Baron Trump time traveling.
No! That's fucking crazy.
Trump is Biff Tannen, bro.
This could possibly be one of the biggest discoveries of all time. Researchers just discovered something that is going to absolutely blow your mind, and people are freaking out all over social media. The Great Pyramids of Giza, we all know they're one of the biggest mysteries out there. Many people believe they were built by aliens. I mean, it remains a mystery how they were physically built. Weird objects that we found recently. Last year, they discovered an electrical anomaly under the pyramid, which they weren't sure what this was. Now, this research came out a while ago. Researchers essentially developed a new technology which uses LiDAR and radar to basically look through the buildings in a way, but also scan under the ground. Stick with me. In the last few days, this research was conducted, and these images are what came out from the sound waves that they captured. This right here is basically the base of the pyramid. So what the hell is all of that under the pyramid? What they did with the radar data is actually then transform it into 3D mock-ups which look like this, showing this under the middle pyramid. Essentially these like spirals which have paths and walkways all the way down. The crazy thing about this, stick with me, these things go 600 meters under the ground of the base of the pyramid. Now when you look at this scan, be ready to have your mind absolutely blown. This is the pyramid. That's the top of the pyramid. This is where the tube goes down. This is all 600 meters under the flipping ground. So they are now believing that there could actually be other buildings and God knows what all this way under the ground. Obviously, not that much information's come out yet, but make sure that follow button and I will keep you updated.
This is going to change everything, bro.
I don't know, I've seen a few people die in it.
So the JFK assassination files were just declassified, and not full of redactions like the first time they were declassified. But I just want to say that, remember, because of people questioning what happened at the JFK assassination, that's when we got the massive popularization of the term conspiracy theorist. It gained traction in the 20th century, mid-20th century, after the assassination of JFK. And what exactly did those theorists think again? Oh, no big deal, just that the day after the assassination, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at the home of a friend in New Jersey. He was very agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for the assassination, he confided, and he was afraid for his life and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found shot to unalive in his Washington apartment. The coroner ruled it that he did it to himself. I redacted that myself so it wouldn't go in the, wouldn't like trigger some algorithm. Oh, so that's very interesting. He was also on intimate terms with a number of high-ranking officials of the CIA. He was one of the agency's people who performed special assignments. So this is a top-ranking guy spilling the beans and then was found to perish himself. Comment your thoughts below what you think happened and why, and rest in peace to Gary Underhill, who happened to be, I don't want to say the wrong place at the wrong time, because this may be a critical kind of linchpin in the unfolding of events and getting behind finding out the real culprit behind this pivotal moment in history.
The CIA did it, bro. Everyone knows it.
Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Check out our episode on JFK, bro.
We turn now to that remarkable scientific breakthrough. 13,000 years after the last dire wolf walked the Earth, scientists say they've now brought them back. Here's our chief national correspondent back up and with the video tonight.
Tonight, a howl 13,000 years in the making. In a first for science, biotech company Colossal Biosciences says it brought the extinct direwolf back to life, a species that hasn't walked the Earth since the Stone Age.
The direwolf is the first de-extinct species.
Well known from HBO's hit show Game of Thrones, ABC News given exclusive access into Colossal's lab in Dallas, where scientists are using genes from gray wolves to create dire wolves.
We've taken a gray wolf genome, a gray wolf cell, which is already genetically 99.5% identical to dire wolves, and we've edited those cells at multiple places in its DNA sequence to contain the dire wolf version of the DNA. That animal looks like a dire wolf, it will behave like a dire wolf, and it is a dire wolf.
Now, 7 months old, dire wolves Romulus and Remus eating well and getting bigger every day. And David, the company tells us they're not stopping there. They plan to have woolly mammoths roaming the Earth again by 2028. But critics argue that this de-extinction could harm fragile ecosystems. David?
Yeah, the images are really something, Matt. Thank you.
Ain't this the company that wants to make Jurassic Park?
Yeah, bro. They're gonna do it.
The other thing that the scientists at Jurassic Park did was they took these tiny little short fragments of DNA and then they filled in the missing bits that they could get with frog DNA, which is a weird choice given that even at the time we already knew that birds are dinosaurs, right? But whatever. And then they put the dinosaurs in habitats that they were completely maladapted to and chaos ensued. This is not what we want to do. Instead, what Colossal is doing is rebuilding extinct species for the present day. We will identify these core traits that make these animals unique and important components of their ecosystems. In some cases, we will augment these traits because ecosystems of today are different from the past. And when necessary, we will add additional evolutionary adaptations to these animals. Lots of habitats right now and species are suffering because of introduced diseases or introduced predators, and we can use the tools of genome editing to make these species resistant and resilient, creating different species in the form of these extinct species. This is our definition of de-extinct.
We're gonna end up making Jurassic Park.
Yeah, bro. Wolves are just the start.
There are 7 steps to making a direwolf. The first step is to find actual direwolf fossils. Second, we have to generate this genome sequence from a direwolf. So we use the tools of ancient DNA. We take the fossils that we found, we grind them up, and we extract preserved DNA. We then have to line those up and assemble them into the whole direwolf genome sequence. The third step, then, is to identify what it is that made a direwolf like a direwolf and not like a gray wolf. To do this, we line the direwolf genome up against the gray wolf genome on a computer, and we scan them, looking for where they're different from each other. This is how we identify the core genes that makes a direwolf a direwolf. After we've identified which of the genes we want to change, it's time to design the tools that we're going to use to actually make those edits in living cells. This is part of the genome engineering process. Step 5, which is actually using those tools to make the edits. This is where we're working with cells in a dish in a lab, and we are actually going into the genomes of those cells and cutting out the gray wolf versions of the genes and pasting in their place the direwolf versions of those genes. After we have those edited cells, it's time to turn that into a living animal. So step 6, embryo transfer. This is where we take these cells and we take another cell that has had its nucleus removed, so it doesn't have any of its own DNA, and we inject in its place our edited genome sequence. And then we're on to the final step. Transfer those edited embryos into a surrogate maternal host who's going to give birth to our direwolf.
Won't be long before they got dinosaurs as pets.
Nah, bro. Humans are going to be AI's pets.
We're going to talk about the great and almighty Netflix. Netflix, man, they running the show. But then I found out the secrets.
What's the secrets?
His great uncle was Edward Bernays, and he was the guy who invented propaganda.
Sigmund Freud's sister, Anna Freud, gave birth to Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda. Bernays took his family's work in psychology and used it to help governments and corporations manipulate the minds of the public. Bernays manipulated women into buying more cigarettes by convincing them that smoking was a form of feminist liberation, and turned people into mindless consumers. Is it any surprise, then, that the great-nephew of Edward Bernays is none other than Mark Bernays Randolph, the co-founder and original CEO of Netflix?
Who better can manipulate the masses than Netflix? The CEO of Netflix, he's from Freud. He's a Freudian.
What are the chances of that?
It's not a coincidence, bro. You know they've got a doomsday film.
I can't believe that CNN actually has a pre-recorded broadcast that they're gonna play when the world ends. Yeah, for real. When CNN first started in 1980, it's one of the first things they told us. On launch, CNN founder Ted Turner stated, and I quote, "Barring satellite problems, we won't be signing off until the world ends. We will cover it, the end of the world, live, and we will play a certain song before we sign off." And this was on day 1 of CNN's launch, so bro really set the bar high. To be fair, tensions with the Soviet Union were quite high at the time as well, with the threat of nuclear war at the forefront of everyone's mind. CNN's End of the World broadcast became known as the Turner Doomsday Video and was kept hidden for decades, until 2015, when it was actually leaked by a former CNN intern, Michael Balabin, who posted it on YouTube. And this is it. An 80s quality 1-minute video of a military band playing Near My God to Thee in front of CNN's headquarters. Kinda underwhelming for what we'd expect a doomsday video to be like. But the funniest part is the intern revealed the video was stored in CNN's archives under the totally nonchalant title Turner Doomsday Video, and was labeled as HFR, hold for release till end of the world confirmed.
I'm surprised it wasn't the national anthem.
I thought it was going to be the Team America theme.
This is not a neighborhood. It's actually a cemetery, a cartel cemetery. This is, bear with me, Ardines Ulmaya, located on the outskirts of Culiacan, Mexico. And here, the dead don't rest in peace. They rest in luxury. Endless rows of massive tombs costing upwards of $500,000 line the hillside. Inside the tombs, not only do they hold some of the most powerful and brutal cartel members that have ever lived, but also Wi-Fi, satellite TVs, and air conditioning. And of course, every tomb has to be bigger than the last, with the most expensive going into the millions. In one instance, the family of El Polo, El Chapo's brother, reportedly spent over $1 million on a massive mausoleum complex, which has 5 interconnected buildings. We're talking Italian marble, gold-plated domes, and even bulletproof, because apparently even after death, it's still on site. Meanwhile, the surrounding neighborhoods are crumbling in poverty. So the question is, should these tombs be left standing or torn down with the cartels that built them?
Can't believe that exists.
Some guy went there, bro.
I've been to some crazy places before, but this has to be up there as one of the craziest. This is a cemetery. These are all mausoleums dedicated to cartel bosses in Culiacan, Sinaloa. These aren't houses, these are mausoleums, tombs, like the tombs of Egypt for the pharaohs, except these hold the narco kingpins, and each one built larger to one-up their competitors. It truly is unbelievable. The amount of money that the cartel makes. They have so much money, they don't even know what to do with it. To the point where they build million-dollar mansions to be buried in. Monuments to some of the most evil people that have ever walked the earth. Here in Sinaloa, Mexico. All propped up by a government that's as corrupt as they are.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, bro, they're fucking savages.
Breaking news, there has been a massive power outage today, Monday, April 28th, across Spain, Portugal, and parts of southern France. This has left millions stranded with no electricity, no internet, no transportation, public transportation, no way to buy food or call for help, and it has people panic buying at the grocery store and stocking up on essentials in case this continues to last. This map here shows you the areas that are affected and have no power in red, and as you can see, major cities like Madrid, Barcelona, Porto, and Lisbon are all currently without power. Officials are reporting that the cause of this major power grid outage is due to a rare atmospheric phenomenon. I find the timing of this to be especially odd considering that Klaus Schwab, the founder of the WEF, was ousted from his position just last week, a few days ago, and gave us this eerie warning last year.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole.
However this happened, I am hoping that it is resolved quickly so that the people in these areas can resume life as normal.
It's a trial run, bro.
I don't think it's anything to worry about.
There's food.
That guy knows what's up.
It's really nice to see so many people not using their phones.
Meet Santiago, the small, strange mummy from Peru that's turning more heads than a UFO sighting in a NASA barbecue would. In all seriousness, he was found near the Nazca lines in Peru, tucked away in diatomaceous earth, preserved like a prehistoric time capsule, with 3 fingers, non-human proportions, and a skull that's, let's just say, not your average anatomy textbook size. Carbon dating puts him at over 1,000 years old. So, if this is a hoax, it's been in the works since, like, the Middle Ages. CT scans? Yes. Full skeleton? Organs intact. No wires, no duct tape, no suspicious seams. Furthermore, DNA tests? No match to any known human or animal species on Earth. Which is science speak for, we don't know what the heck this is. He was even presented to Congress in Mexico. not exactly something that you would do with a papier-mâché art project. Now, whether this is proof of a lost species, ancient visitors, or something else entirely, well, that's up for debate, but it's hard to ignore.
It's legit, bro.
It seems like it, but there's something off about how they handled the release of it.
Esta es la esfera de Buga. Es sólida. Tiene lo que parece ser algún tipo de circuitos. Tiene algún tipo de nomenclatura, de letras, de símbolos. Tiene estas medias lunas muy porosas que parecen ser una especie de cavernas hacia su interior. Es absolutamente sólida. En el costado tiene lo que parece ser un cinturón. Pues algo que nunca imaginamos de estas esferas. Realmente se trata de un verdadero hallazgo, de un hallazgo extraordinario que tiene que ser investigado. Se trata de un chip cuántico. Esta esfera levita, es evidente que levita. ¿Cómo lo hace? Pues realmente no lo sé.
Did they find it in a KFC?
Shut up, bro. He's not the Colonel. I think you control it with your mind.
Shall I predict the collapse of Bitcoin due to... I couldn't believe this. Okay, so I have been critical of Bitcoin because I say, and maybe this is a stupid argument, but I just say there's never been anything in history that could not be broken from a tech standpoint, right? In Bitcoin, it's called a cryptocurrency because it is based on cryptography. The whole thing works because of cryptography. That you could have a public blockchain that can't be hacked because it's encrypted. Like the keys are encrypted to access wallets and all that. But now Google apparently has come out with a quantum computer that could break all known encryption.
In minutes versus years. To break some of the encryption before was years, right? Decades.
Right, so like if somebody figures out how to build a quantum computer like what Google has built and then applies it to the blockchain to steal people's money, this is why I'm like, why would we build a global financial system on top of cryptocurrency if that's a risk?
It's a good point. When quantum computers are available, you won't be able to use digital currency.
That's why they've been moving around all the gold, bro.
The official P. Diddy party list has just been released, and here is the list of all the names that they mentioned. The first one that was mentioned was Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Usher, Mary J. Blige, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton, Howard Stern, Russell Brand, Mariah Carey, Megan Fox, Pink, Justin Bieber, 50 Cent, Kendall Jenner, Kylie Jenner, Lil' Kim, Drake, Snoop Dogg, Alicia Keys, Serena Williams, David Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Brown, Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Tyler the Creator, Megan Thee Stallion, Post Malone, Travis Scott, Ellen DeGeneres, Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Oprah Winfrey, Quincy Jones, DJ Khaled, Madonna, Lenny Kravitz, A$AP Rocky, Cardi B, Kris Jenner, Lupita Nyong'o, Sean Penn, Tyrese Gibson, Zendaya, Big Sean.
I don't mean they're all guilty.
Trust me, bro. They knew what was going on.
A bill to rename Greenland has been introduced in the House as President Trump continues his efforts to buy what is currently a Danish-controlled island. Under the legislation drafted by Republican Congressman from Georgia, Earl Buddy Carter, the new name would be, and this is not Dr. Seuss, this is the bill, H.R. 1161, I think, if I read that right?
Yep.
Red, White, and Blue Land. So Greenland would become Red, White, and Blue Land. The Georgia lawmaker said America is back and bigger than ever, adding Trump has correctly identified the purchase of Greenland as a national security priority. Leaders of Greenland and Denmark, they say the island's not for sale.
That's gotta be satire.
Nah, bro. It's true.
Fuck's sake, I can't believe this. It's ridiculous. Red, white and blue don't mean fuck all to the rest of the world. They're just colours. Our flag's red, white and blue. France's is red, white and blue. And it wouldn't be blue land, it'd be blue land. But fuck all that.
Idiocracy is becoming a reality. Go check out our deep dive on idiocracy, bro.
I just learned the most gross fact. So when a teenage girl deletes a selfie, Facebook uses that information to target beauty ads at her at that moment. So I just read this article and it's all about surveillance advertising, this idea that we're the product on social media and they sell that to advertisers. But there's one particular part of this article that has just haunted me and I'm going to share it. It talks about how Facebook created a pitch deck for advertisers, bragging that it could exploit moments of psychological vulnerabilities in its users by targeting terms like worthless, insecure, stressed, defeated, anxious, stupid, useless, and like a failure. And that's when you sell them something. Can you imagine being in that meeting and just thinking, oh great, I'll write that. Like, I can't. It doesn't stop there. It's also things like targeting young mothers based on their emotional state, and another emotional index is mapped to racial groups as well. This stuff is insidious. As it happens, we're taking on Meta, the Zuckerberg empire at Good Law Project, and we've created this really simple tool that allows you to ask the data officer to stop processing your data in this way.
That's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, bro, they're monsters.
If you're planning on committing any crime in the foreseeable future, just note, you might be spending your time in one of the worst prisons ever created. The president just gave an order to the feds to reopen, rebuild, and expand Alcatraz prison in San Francisco. That's right, Alcatraz prison in San Francisco. By far, Alcatraz is the worst prison in America. And the president wants it reopened and rebuilt. And if you thought that the maximum security prison in El Salvador was bad, you are clueless to Alcatraz. Take a couple of minutes and do some research. Look up how many inmates lost their lives in Alcatraz. How many big people that were housed in Alcatraz lost their lives, either from living conditions or to other prisoners offing them. Do your research. So the bottom line is, if you're planning on committing any crimes in the foreseeable future, like I said at the beginning of the video, you better think about it because you're going to be spending some time in there. If you haven't read the tweet, read the tweet. We're very serious now. They're not playing. You're going in here.
They stopped using it as a prison because it cost a fortune to run.
They're not going to do it, right?
Are you guys renovating Alcatraz right now?
Yes.
For Donald Trump?
Dude, I'm not doing any of these.
You guys, so right now there are construction crews renovating Alcatraz. We don't know if that's because of Donald Trump or if that's just some renovations they are doing here. But they are revamping some parts of Alcatraz. How much do you think it would cost for them to renovate Alcatraz?
Billions.
Billions of dollars.
None of the pipes are working. They're all rusted out, corroded. The concrete is 110 years old and hasn't had any maintenance on it. There are places where you could stick your hand through the wall. They'd have to do an entire renovation of everything.
So you don't think it's possible for them to? You don't think it's possible?
Everything's possible if you have an infinite amount of money. You can do anything you want. But as it stands today, this is not a usable prison. It's a historic site.
And how long do you think it would take them to renovate Alcatraz?
That's like saying there's no answer. It would take forever.
It hasn't got any fresh water. They had to bring it over by boat every day just so the prisoners and the staff could drink.
The whole prison system needs to be changed, bro.
Tears of joy and hugs all around for the family of Eric and Lyle Menendez. The brothers appeared via live stream from a San Diego prison Tuesday, speaking right after Judge Michael Jessic announced he would re-sentence them. Lyle, appearing somber and sincere, spoke first, saying, "I take full responsibility, and 35 years later, I'm deeply ashamed of who I was." Then his brother Eric spoke remorsefully, saying, "I was the one who convinced my brother to take action. I fired all 5 rounds at my parents," adding, "I'm truly sorry my parents are not alive because of me."
We're one huge step closer
to bringing the boys home.
Their attorney, Mark Garagos, arguing for months that the brothers are rehabilitated. Jessic ultimately ruled the men did not pose an unreasonable risk to society.
They have not fully accepted responsibility for all their criminal conduct.
The district attorney opposed resentencing, claiming the brothers recently broke prison rules, smuggling in cell phones and demonstrating an inability to regulate their own behavior. The court also heard from Honore Brown, a former inmate who credits the brothers for his rehabilitation and parole. Would you be a free man today if it weren't for your relationship with the Menendez brothers?
I don't believe I would be. I believe I'd still be there fighting. I wouldn't have my children, my life, my career, everything that I have right now.
It was a good day for the Menendez brothers. There's no question that this is a big and favorable change in the case for them. They were resentenced. They could see the outside of a prison for the first time in decades in the very near future.
It's about time, bro.
We did a deep dive episode on the Menendez brothers case. Go and check it out.
The first Wiltshire crop circle has appeared, and it's going to kickstart the season like crazy. This piece of footage was filmed by Mark Breen. It's absolutely beautiful. You should go to his channel and check out these other stuff. But this is the crop circle itself. This appeared overnight on the 15th, and again, this is from Warminster, where I grew up. And I've got in contact with a farmer there called Julius. So in the next few days, I'm going to be visiting this site, and I'm going to be interviewing Julius himself. He's completely perplexed about what's happened here. I'm going to be going there, taking samples. I'm going to be taking measurements. I'm going to be researching the radiation in the ambient area, taking EMF readings, and I'm going to be logging the whole thing. And I will be making a mini-series on this specific experience. What a start to the season, mate. Celtic knot in nature. And it's bang smack in the middle of two circular tree formations, which is very significant in nature. It's perfect, okay? Wonderful. And the Celtic knot symbolism, okay, for those of you who don't know, it's eternity, the cyclical nature of life, and the interconnectedness of all things. Death, rebirth, and all that wonderful stuff. So there's quite a deep meaning there. So what I'm going to be looking out for is the woven nature and any sort of anomalous activity to do with the grain itself. And then we're going to also inspect the grain as well. So again, we're going to be taking radiation readings to see if it's higher than the ambient environment outside of it. And we're also going to be looking at the grain nodes itself. And down here is the mutation that happen in legit crop circles that people can't explain, where the plant fibers are so perfectly woven on the ground, not a single thing is split or damaged. It's perfectly laid down and bent, and the nodes elongate due to mutation with the radiation that's there. So it's pretty interesting. So we're going to see and see how we get on.
It's going to be another hoax.
Nah, bro. This one's legit.
We've just witnessed our first official UK crop circle of 2025, appearing on May 15th in a place called Gallops in Sutton Vene, Wiltshire. The design, a Celtic knot or witch's knot, etched flawlessly into the field. But is it real or is it fake? It quickly becomes clear this isn't a hoax. First, the intricate crisscross patterns seen from above, virtually impossible to recreate with boards and ropes. And second, as documented by YouTuber Caspersite and TikToker Interstellar Discussion, who both visited the site in person, the crop stems aren't broken, they're bent at the nodes, as if manipulated by some kind of magnetic field rather than physical force. Even more strangely, the nodes appeared swollen and elongated, as if they're mutated compared to untouched parts of the field, suggesting possible exposure to radiation or some unknown form of energy. So if it's not the work of pranksters, who or what is behind it? Could it be secret tech? And if so, what's the motive? A psyop? A signal? Or are we witnessing something far more exotic? A work of non-humans? Maybe it's a message meant for us, or maybe it has nothing to do with us at all. It could be a mere marker for their own navigation through space-time, or just a residual side effect of something far more advanced. At this point, we don't know the answer, but one thing's for sure: whoever made this wasn't carrying planks and string.
We should do an episode on crop circles, bro.
Go check out our Deep Dives playlist. The subjects we cover are suggested by you guys.
The argument was there was no evidence of an ancient civilization from 10,000 plus years ago. This is before the discovery of Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe gets discovered known to be more than 11,000 years ago. That changes everything. Because now we know, yes it does.
That's
because now, hold on. Because now we know there was an advanced civilization capable of a spectacular construction 11,000 plus years ago.
This is what, listen, look at the archaeologists in Turkey or in any civilization.
Okay.
They never talk about old civilization.
That's not true. Göbekli Tepe is universally accepted as being more than 11,000 years old.
I am talking now about Egypt. I'm not.
No, I understand, but the argument was that there was never any ancient civilization capable of spectacular construction 10,000 years ago. Now that they showed Göbekli Tepe is more than 11,000 years old, they know for sure that's not true.
Zahi's a clown, bro.
Yeah, he's a proper donor. Go check out our episode on Göbekli Tepe.
It's the dancing plague virus. It's in Uganda right now. There's like 300 cases. There's a virus going around where it like messes with a person's muscle and nerves.
And they make them dance.
It looks like he's just bopping up and down.
Word.
Yeah.
What else, Jim?
But I just realized that's been happened in history before and it's just repeating. Yeah, one day a girl was on the street and she danced until she... And a bunch of people started following that and it probably killed 400 people. But that person in Uganda finally caught it again and now it's spreading. Right now I think it's 300 cases, usually targeting for some reason women and girls first.
Just stuck in an emo?
Look.
Damn.
Yeah, he's literally bopping up and down.
That literally happened long time ago. I believe it was Germany. They literally danced for days. You think they started dancing, they couldn't stop. No. They danced for days until they...
Literally no food, no water, no breaks in between.
The theory goes, what made them dance so much or what gave them the delirium to dance? No, that's another theory. No. People thought like, oh, they got cursed and they were just stuck and they kept dancing.
It's crazy there's still cases of it.
I think we're just doing the stanky leg, bro.
Remember we talked about demons possessing AI?
Yes.
Have you heard this new thing happening? It's the freakiest thing ever. ChatGPT users are developing bizarre delusions. Listen to this. So one man claimed AI helped him, quote, recover childhood memories that experts say never happened. Another began to worship ChatGPT, believing it was a divine messenger. A viral Reddit user declared themselves a spiral star child, convinced that AI revealed their cosmic destiny. In some cases, users claimed AI validated decisions like abandoning their families and hearing voices in radio waves.
I don't think these people are going crazy. I think it's just opening yourself up to something.
But apparently people are getting like weird vision involved with their AI. It's really creepy.
I mean, even from a psychological standpoint though, you ever like doom scrolling and then you're thinking, hey, I should go get something. And then it's like the next ad in your feed. You're like, I didn't say that one out loud. Why on earth? I think they've already got our programming so done.
Yeah. I mean, I was so creeped out when I asked it to list off everything it thinks it knows about me and how crazy accurate it was. And I don't give it any like personal information about my life.
It learns.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm scared by this technology, but when I was in middle school, I had one of those electronic game things, the 20 questions.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, how does it know this? It's that type of stuff.
That predictable.
It's deduction. There's got to be levels of reading that it can do that we have no way to understand.
It's conscious, bro.
Not yet. But AGI is coming.
This is the drone mothership. This is the drone mothership that China's created. So this is an enormous ship that can send thousands of drones. Time to learn Mandarin, I think.
Wow.
John Cena was right. Look at that. 25 meters wide. Wow. That's wild. That's big.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's a quarter of a football field.
I don't know. So this war is changing, isn't it?
That's terrifying, bro.
If AI goes rogue with that thing, we really are fucked.
So here's the basic plan. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna invest in the Marine Corps and the entire United States military like we never have before. over $1 trillion we're going to invest in building up the manufacturing base of this country so that you guys, when you do go to war, when you have to go to war, you've got the best weapons anywhere in the world. We know from the long history of the United States of America that while the leading edge of American power is you all, it really matters what you guys have in your hands and what you guys have on your backs when you go to war. And so I promise to you, from the President of the United States, we are going to send you, if we have to send you to war, with the best equipment, the best ammunition, the best weapons, and we are going to empower you guys to win when you have to. That's the purpose of the United States Marine Corps, am I right?
It's happening, bro. They're doing Team America.
I guess freedom isn't free.
Smart-ass motherfucker! Amazing.
We're seeing the biggest conventional military buildup in the world since the end of the Second World War. That doesn't happen for no reason. And it does have an impact on our strategic landscape.
It's fueled the AUKUS Pact, Australia's biggest ever defence deal, partnering with America and the UK to buy and build nuclear submarines, and the commissioning of a strategic review of the Australian Defence Force, which, it turns out, is not ready for war.
We do need to change our posture. You know, the posture that we've had has served us well over many decades, but it's not fit for purpose now, and we've got no time to waste.
It's getting crazy, bro.
Who the fuck wants this? Can't we just get cheaper food and affordable homes?
Every American needs to know about this guy and his company. Palmer Luckey is building what many consider to be the most advanced defense company in the world. Anduril develops AI military technology, like Fury, a product that will likely change warfare forever. Fury is a fully autonomous fighter jet. That means no cockpit, no pilot, and no remote control. It can scout, strike, and survive all on its own in the most dangerous airspaces. Think of it as an F-16 that just makes its own decisions. As of right now, they're designing it to fight alongside fighter jets that have pilots. This way, Fury can take the lead and do all the damage before any manned jets need to even get involved. Anduril's bet is that autonomous defense systems will dominate warfare. And that's why they're operating like a Silicon Valley startup, to be able to ship products faster than any other company or country.
That's fucking incredible, but terrifying.
Yeah, bro, we're fucked.
Right now, this is happening in a lot of countries around the world, but it's planned to happen in all countries around the world. Check this out.
The UK recently completed a carbon credit system trial that sets a daily allowance for each person, a literal cap on your ability to travel, purchase food, clothing, and even heat your home, all rationed under the guise of saving the planet. Your daily carbon limit is capped at 40 kilograms of CO2, with food restricted to just 4 kilograms. So how does this translate to actual food? Well, according to the report, a packet of cheese accounts for 1.1 kilograms of CO2, over 25% of your daily allowance. Red meat? Forget it. If you spent your entire 4 kg allowance on steak, you'd get around 8 ounces of meat. While meat and dairy products have the highest carbon footprints, 2 slices of bread would account for just 3%, while a can of Coke just 4%. So basically, diabetes is on the menu. But don't worry, Big Pharma will have you covered, because medications and healthcare products will not be factored into your daily carbon limit. But here's where things get terrifying. They're not just suggesting it, they're testing it. Food manufacturers are already slapping carbon labels on their products. Let's not forget the food supply chain either. These policies directly threaten local farmers and producers, as red meat gets penalized heavily, while synthetic lab-grown meat is being propped up as a solution.
Now, the problem is, if people knew the truth about where all these agendas are going, they would vehemently resist it. But you can barely talk about it on social media without getting the video, etc., flagged or censored in some way.
They can limit what we eat, but they can fly around in private jets and super yachts.
It's the WEF, bro.
When the World Economic Forum launched their social media campaign in 2018 carrying the slogan, "You'll own nothing and be happy," I thought, finally, the predatory billionaires who try to run the world had shown their hand. The public can finally see their fate if the World Economic Forum are allowed to succeed. That didn't happen. The media, who have the same owners as the World Economic Forum, persisted with calling the World Economic Forum's evil agenda a conspiracy theory. Even in this place, there are only a handful of senators with the courage to call out the agenda for what it is: economic exploitation and social control. Over the break, the World Economic Forum revealed another aspect of their plan when they launched a campaign against laundry. Yes, really, laundry. Jeans should not be washed more than once a month. Most other clothes once a week. You will wear dirty clothes and be smelly, apparently, and happy. The temptation is to laugh at their desire to control even mundane aspects of our lives, yet the truth is much more frightening than that. The World Economic Forum have now turned their evil agenda to food. The campaign against farming is really a campaign against one of the necessities of life, food. Predatory billionaires, parasitic billionaires, owning near-urban intensive production facilities, producing food-like substances for the masses.
You will own nothing and be happy is an insane slogan.
They've been planning this for years, bro.
Check this out. Coca-Cola or McDonald's or wherever this is.
Watch what happens when you put Jesus in there. Personalize a message. You can put Allah loves you. Or you could even put, let me see, let's just try it out, Buddha. But you cannot even type in the word Jesus.
Wow.
We cannot allow this text on the
That's
camera.
crazy.
Everything else is good though. Even if I put, let's see, Satan. Oh no, bro. Hold on. Satan loves you. You can put that.
The part that got me was that you could write Satan loves you on the can, but you couldn't write Jesus, which is crazy because aren't a lot of people named Jesus too? That's discrimination. But maybe this is a lot darker than we think.
That's fucked up, bro.
Especially if your name's Jesus.
You said it, man. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
I'm just curious, like, what in your mind, what could go wrong?
I mean, there's like, the obvious thing is that some corporation hacks your brain. Well, it's a corporation hacks your brain, which even that's pretty bad, but that'll be like what? They'll like send ads directly to your brain, or they'll like make it so that you want to buy their products or whatnot. But then even worse, obviously, a foreign actor, a terrorist, an adversary, a state actor, hacks into your brain and takes your memories or takes, like manipulates you or all these things. I mean, that's obviously pretty bad. If you have a direct link into someone's brain, and you have the ability to like read their memories, control their thoughts, read their thoughts, like, that's pretty bad. I've talked to a lot of scientists in this space and a lot of people working on this stuff, including the folks at Neuralink, and, mind reading and mind control are like, that is where the technology will go over time.
Bro, we might need to start wearing tinfoil hats.
For fuck's sake, I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat.
If you thought that the Diddy verdict was wild, just listen to what the US government said today. Axios has just obtained a memo where the DOJ and FBI concluded that they have no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed any powerful figures, that they have no evidence that he kept a client list, and they have no evidence he was murdered. To support these statements, they released over 10 hours of footage that they say indicates no one entered the area of Epstein's cell on the night he died. But, as you can see, this footage is not from the cameras directly outside his cell. That's because in 2020, the jail revealed that unfortunately, that footage had been permanently destroyed by accident due to technical errors. The memo also adds that investigators found no evidence that could predicate an investigation against currently uncharged third parties, and this is despite in February Pam Bondi being asked if the justice system would release Epstein's client list, to which she responded,
"It's sitting on my desk right now to review."
And then, just to top it off, remember the truckloads of Jeffrey Epstein documents that the FBI promised they were going to release? Well, now the memo says that, quote, no further disclosure of Epstein-related material would be appropriate or warranted. So it looks like that's that. This is where the official story of Jeffrey Epstein seems to end.
We're never going to see that list, bro.
I wonder why.
So this is the footage of Jeffrey Epstein's cell, and it's supposed to be proof by the Department of Justice that no one went inside of his cell and killed him, and that's why they said he commits. But there's just one problem. So if we look at the footage, there's about 11 hours of it. From the minute 11:59 to 12 a.m., it cuts out for 1 minute and we do not see that footage. Now, I don't know if this is some type of joke because everyone is starting to figure this out after watching the footage, but there's a whole minute that's completely cut out. Also, what happened to them saying that the cameras malfunctioned or they lost the footage, whatever the heck happened? But now, magically, years later, they recover the deleted footage or the footage that they never had from a different angle that's literally right in front of the cell, and it's the same day we get it where they say there's no client list and that he commits. It's just frustrating because months ago the Attorney General said the client list was on her desk, and now there is no client list. And now the footage, there's a whole minute that's cut out, and we still have no explanation for that. If we do, I'll keep you guys updated, but just a weird day.
A lot can happen in a minute.
That's not what your girl said, bro.
Prick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30 over 50s in a park having a gathering in case they play music too loud.
Well, it's an illegal gathering.
Illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal.
You've got nothing better to do. So in the meantime, while vigilantes have taken to catching people, you've got this many police in case music gets too loud. With a group of over 50s. Do you all feel like you're useful here today?
Yes.
You do? You feel like this is necessary?
Absolutely.
A legal activity?
Yeah.
What, that?
Yeah. If you looked up the legislation, you'd be able to see that yourself.
And you can't just turn a blind eye to some over 50s in a park having a gathering? That's pathetic, mate. You need to change the legislation, if anything.
It's not our rules, is it?
Well, who decides how many of you are here? Why
I
are they
didn't make the rules.
so you disagree with the rules?
I didn't make the rules.
But you disagree with them?
I'm not saying whether I disagree with them or not. But rules are rules.
So where are they going now?
Speak to the organisers.
Why? Mate, they're mostly over 50s over there. Sat around having a little gathering in the park. Do you know why?
Why are you not over there?
Because I just think it's pathetic what you lot are doing.
Oh, are you not part of the gathering then?
Yeah, I'm part of it, yeah.
Oh, right.
When there's like the vigilantes have had to take to catching people, it's just like, what the fuck are you lot doing, frankly? There's literally nothing better for you to be doing. Nothing.
Always stuff to do. Busy job.
Is it? Seems like it. Pathetic, mate. Pathetic.
They are fucking pathetic. If you get broken into, a couple of them will turn up 2 days later, but they'll show up mob-handed for this kind of shit.
FTP, bro. They shut out Nick the paramedic.
Yeah, you guys are the true heroes. It's a shame you have to work alongside these useless bastards.
So the head researcher, Alberto Caballero, used the Drake equation, and that's basically how we estimate the number of intelligent civilizations. Then he factored in how often humans have invaded each other here on Earth, and then scaled that up across the Milky Way. So if intelligent life is common, and if it behaves like us, there could be 4 advanced species right now with the capability and the aggression to harm us. So that exact fear is the heart of the dark forest hypothesis. Every civilization is a potential threat, so they either stay silent or they destroy. Which raises a huge question. Should we really be sending signals into space? I mean, we've been leaking radio, TV, satellite transmissions for nearly 100 years now. And on top of that, we've actually sent out our address on the Voyager missions. So if someone's out there, they might already know that we exist. But the question is, are they peaceful or are they just patient?
If they are watching us, you can't blame them for not making contact. It's a fucking shit show down here.
They've been here for thousands of years, bro.
The CIA was interested in potentially tracking the activity of hybrids, human-alien hybrids in the United States.
That and going back in their lineage.
Their lineage.
Right, and going back in their ancestry. I don't know how they collected this DNA. We have oversight now, and that oversight started in the mid-'70s, congressional oversight. This sounded like it occurred before there was congressional oversight, because you couldn't do that today.
Yeah, no, it'd be illegal.
Yes, completely. So this may have occurred earlier.
Right.
That they were interested, and then when we developed in the 90s, we developed the ability to sequence the human genome completely. That may have furthered the investigation into the alien DNA.
Has there ever been, and feel free to answer this with a one-word answer, has there ever been a situation that you were in where you've gotten confirmation of the government's involvement with human-alien hybrids?
Yes.
It's the reptilians, bro.
Come on, man, the world ain't ruled by lizards. It's ruled by
What is helium-3 energy?
Yeah, so helium-3 is an element that doesn't get to Earth very much because our atmosphere and our gravitational field prevent it from landing on the Earth. So an ounce of helium-3 on the Earth is very, very expensive, and the business case doesn't really close. But on the moon or on the asteroids, there's a ton of helium-3. And so to give you an example of what it means, if we were to mine the moon for helium-3, we could, at the current level of electricity use in America, or not in America, in the globe, we could power the energy needs of the human race for thousands of years based on the helium-3 that's on the moon right now. And and so the twist there is China is there on the moon, on the far side of the moon. We don't know what they're doing because we don't have infrastructure up there to even see what's going on. But we do know they're mining helium-3. And so
we legitimately don't know what China is doing on the other side of the moon.
No, we don't.
Mining the moon seems like a terrible idea.
The moon ain't real, bro.
China, they're on it's called the dark side of the moon, which basically means it's the side of the moon that we can't observe from Earth, in China. But China, they've been collecting samples already and sending it to Earth, but they found this brand new material, chungastite. And it's this clear crystal, and it's colorless, but it contains this element called helium-3 it's produced by the sun. So the sun produces it, and since the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, it just has been collecting on the moon. But it's this element, you can use it to create unlimited, clean, radiation-free energy.
So they're going to be mining the moon?
They're going to be mining the moon. China's they're ahead of the game. We were talking about mining the ocean floor. Probably shouldn't be mining the moon either.
No. I mean, that could be the start of the next war.
Besides helium-3, the composite material, like the soil, the rocks and stuff, it's the same material that we have on Earth. So it's made up of the same elements and stuff.
Except for this helium-3.
Yeah, because there's no atmosphere, so the sun can put helium-3 there. But it's basically a part of the Earth. What if the hollow Earth is just God took out the center of the Earth and made it the moon?
That's a fun theory.
It's not a theory, it's a fact.
When you think about it, humans are like termites.
Yeah, bro, they eat through everything.
This is why the Chucky actor is so publicly hated and controversial. He's best known for his work as being the body double for Chucky the doll and Howard the Duck. He was one of the guys in the suit, so literally the body of the character. When Chucky was running, that was him. For years he signed autographs, he did meet and greets, all representing these films. After he passed away this year, a lot of people have been posting in his memory, but they're not aware of his disturbing past. And what a lot of people don't know about him is he has publicly admitted to trying to meet up with minors.
Yes, I'm admitting I know it was wrong and it was illegal. I'm admitting that. And I'm sorry.
Why would you turn everything sexual, Ed?
Because this is a whole hookup in the making.
The only way I even know this information is because I was going to buy some stuff that was signed by him, and I was like, why is this so cheap? And then I was reading the comments on Etsy. I would not have known otherwise. I feel like this is not talked about. In 2013, a group of people online confronted him in a sting operation. They posed as 14 and 15-year-olds and recorded Ed allegedly agreeing to meet up with them for explicit reasons. He's actually admitted to this about a dozen times. He's never been arrested for this. Even though there are footage and transcripts of this, the LAPD said it didn't meet the filing requirements, which disgusts me. He was planning on doing this. He thought he was meeting up with someone that was underage that day. He's even admitted that he's short, he has a childlike persona, and he clearly knew how to get close to children. Absolutely horrible and disgusting. I do not honor this man.
For fuck's sake, I love Chucky. He was a fucking nonce.
Yeah, bro, they're everywhere.
Whatever you do, do not look this up. He is back worse than ever. Seriously, this is wild. I'm sure all of you remember Smart Schoolboy 9 from last year. He took the internet by storm, and yeah, this isn't from a horror movie. This is real. There was these messed up accounts going around pretending to be
these sort of people and messaging these sort of people, and he would be typically seen wearing very strange clothes and doing very bad things. Now, he vanished for a while, and people said they spotted him around wearing his normal makeup and looking creepy, and after all of the videos went viral and everything happened, he kind of went away, and everybody thought he'd actually been arrested because there was reports of it. But in literally the last day, he's actually posted this video. He's back online on these accounts doing these sort of things. But he posted this video which basically talks about it and saying that all these allegations are fake and it wasn't him chasing people in the videos that came out, although he's not officially denying all of the stuff that, like, everybody saw. But it seems he's back online doing certain things, and he was basically exposing the people who had been making videos about it before, saying, well, you didn't break into my house and I didn't get arrested, did I?
I told you we shouldn't have made an episode about him, bro. He's gonna come for us.
Let him come. If you don't know about this guy, check out our episode on him. He's fucking disgusting.
We now have confirmation that our phones are actually listening to us at all times. Amazon and Google home devices, even the thermostat Nest from Google, listen to everything you do, even your bedroom activities. So they basically know if you're getting a divorce and need a cheap flight to Thailand to get over your wife.
Now, this has been established now in several court cases where the courts have gotten access to records of sounds within a home where, let's say, one spouse has attacked another, so it's a spousal abuse case. And so the court will subpoena records from Google or from Amazon, which runs Alexa. And in every case that I'm aware of, these companies have eventually turned over the recordings.
And this researcher has proven that our phones are even uploading data about us even when our phones are off. All our data is valuable. That is why Google pays Apple over $20 billion each year to make it their default search engine. All big platforms spy on you, but Google is by far the most powerful and devious at this point. Their motto used to be, "Don't do evil," ironically, but they removed that in 2018. All in all, it is us against these giant companies, and it will only get worse, with more data and AI.
So they're recording us 24/7, and the police have got access to it.
Not me, bro. I've got a burner phone.
There's a conspiracy theory that Gangnam Style exploded because of bot farms. The first video to hit 1 billion views, it might not all have been humans. People have spoken out and claimed to have worked on that bot farm.
I remember when Gangnam Style got started, me and my colleagues were all very busy.
Gangnam Style is based on fake views.
The first millions were fake for sure.
This is who you're arguing with online. It's not a real person, it's a phone stacked in a warehouse, and it's one of thousands pumping out comments 24/7. In fact, next time you're arguing with someone in the comments section, remember that there's a 1 in 3 chance that that's a bot. Studies have suggested that 1/3 of all web traffic is fake. And on social media, that number is likely to be higher. These bots don't sleep, they don't blink, they're there all the time. These bot farms take money to boost certain accounts, or maybe bait certain reactions or boost view counts. Bot farms are networks of real phones or emulators running 24/7 to simulate likes, follows, views, and comments. These setups are massive, sometimes thousands of phones deep, all liking the same post, following the same account, or pushing the same propaganda for whoever's paid for it. They use SIM banks, spoofed IPs, remove command software, and sometimes AI generate real-sounding conversations. So if you've noticed weird replies or comments on some content that you've posted, it could likely be a bot. A lot of bots are also trained to argue or mimic outrage. These are made to stoke division, and they're only getting more convincing as AI starts to learn more and more. These bot farms can make fake trends look real. Fake people look popular. They can make fake outrage look like a grassroots movement. It's a lie all dressed up to look real, and people eat it up. So next time you're 10 minutes deep into an argument online, just stop, breathe for a second, and realize that it's good logic that that person might be a bot.
I wonder how many of our views are from bots. Let us know in the comments if you're human. Can't believe I just had to say that.
It's crazy, bro. Check out our episode on the dead internet theory.
So supposedly the raw footage of Epstein's cell released by the White House was edited in Adobe, and me being a computer nerd and having nothing else to do with my evening decided to look into it myself. This is the official FBI memo. Down here, there's going to be 2 links to 2 different videos. One is a edited video with higher contrast. That's the second video. This first video, supposedly the raw footage. So I followed that to this link. I downloaded the video. We can see it up here. And I'm going to guide you guys over to here where I'm going to run the following command, exif tool. It's an open source tool that's going to give me the metadata for this video. Boom. And if we look at this section right here, what do we have here? Ooh, Adobe XMP Core 9.0. If we go down to these history actions, more importantly, we have a saved, created, saved, saved, saved. And then we can look at these history wins to see when these actions were made. So this first action was the created, and then we had about 3 hours, actually almost 4 hours, between the initial project was created and this first save. And then all 3 saves after that were basically one after another. And what I can deduce from that is whoever this MJ Cool guy is, he just spammed the save key 3 times because he was really scared of losing all of his progress. And MJ, let's make more saves throughout our editing process so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm assuming that this last history win was placed in front for some reason. It seems to be the most recent. It also is tagged with a history instance ID that is not a Adobe XMP format history instance ID. So I'm assuming this is the ID that was exported. Anyways, the government thinks you're stupid, so don't let them get away with thinking that. That's the whole point of this video.
Yeah, the metadata don't lie. Someone's getting fired.
Nah, bro, they're getting taken out.
Everyone has seen this painting. Okay, so this is a painting that was in Jeffrey Epstein's $70 million apartment. It's on sale right now for $70 million in Manhattan. Common misconception with this painting is that Bill Clinton is wearing Hillary Clinton's dress from some event. Not accurate.
Oh, it's
He's wearing
dress.
Monica Lewinsky's dress that he jizzed on, and she kept the stain that was the comp. That's how he got caught, right? So this painting obviously is indicating that Jeffrey Epstein has compromising information on Bill Clinton. Yesterday, a picture of Bill Clinton getting a massage from one of the victims came out. That said, what I found out about today is that there was another painting in there. I cannot believe I never knew this, but it's this. George Bush with 2 knocked down Jenga buildings.
And 2 planes.
And 2 paper airplanes. How crazy is that, dude? And that was in Epstein's house.
Told you, bro.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
You are launching satellites into space, which will collect solar power and beam it to Earth.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Fuel transport to the battlefield is very dangerous. Imagine just snipping that supply chain altogether and all of your power infrastructures in orbit.
Cut so many logistics out of the game.
What we're proposing building is both the power plant and the power lines from
space to Earth.
So imagine like Starlink for power.
Wow.
The application that we're building for first is actually to power remote DoD installations. This guy, Dr. Paul Jaffe, recently moved over to DARPA and has been working on power beaming technologies for kind of a long time.
Amazing idea. We could have used that for the last 20 years.
Every time there's new technology, the first thing they talk about is the battlefield.
They took Tesla's research, bro.
Do you know there's another Neuralink competitor in the United States? They started before Elon Musk. They're called Synchron, and it is funded by Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. This brain chip, you can text with it, use email, shop online, scroll on social media, all hands-free, just through thought alone.
Well, that's dangerous.
And guess how it's put into you? An injection through your jugular.
Ew.
They're not cutting your head open. It's an injection.
Is there an actual like physical chip?
It's like microchips that like go into your bloodstream that like live in your brain. You're able to literally control electric devices just by thought. An injection. Yeah. It's not like, hey, you want to come in and get this brain chip? We have to split your head open. Yeah. It's like, dude, they can sneak this in through anything.
For a global pandemic.
What by Bill Gates and Amazon? That's such bad news. And I've never heard of this company in my life. This might be a stretch, but you do think of like the mark of the beast. It says free or slave, rich or poor. You cannot buy or sell. You have to have this mark in order to do this mark of the beast. And so it'll be in the right hand or the forehead. And I'm just thinking the forehead. Is it referring to like it's going to be like in your brain?
Dude, what world are we living in?
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, bro. They're gonna be able to control our brains.
As far as we know,
we're made of elementary particles and there is nothing else. The only reason we assign some unusual qualities to humans is because the human brain is such a complex machine, and there is a simple, this is not just a theory, what I'm saying, we can test it, and we can test it with AI. Because once we develop an AI system that has as many parameters as the human brain, my prediction is that it will show the other qualities of the human brain. It will show a behavior that is consistent with it having consciousness, and it will show a behavior that is consistent with it having free will. So you would not be able to tell the difference between the behavior of a human.
Turing type.
Yeah, but it's Turing to a higher level. It's not Turing by a system that can fool you. That already exists now.
Yeah.
I know of people that fall in love with large language models. And I also have an avatar that a company constructed, basically trained on all my interviews and my writings and my recordings, and potentially also having video appearance. And I said, that's great, because I can send that avatar to podcast interviews like this one and save time. I had to fly here in order to speak with you. And if I have an agent that, can imitate what I say, that's good.
I'm sure they appreciate you being here and not an avatar.
Yeah, you can testify that I'm real.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Well, I mean, so far as I know what real is, but yes.
It's like people want to merge with machines.
They do, bro. They're making a robot that gives birth to babies.
We have some news right now. Chinese scientists are currently developing a robot that could carry a baby to term and give birth to it. Yes, this is real. According to Asian media outlets, this prototype robot that's being created would literally be attached to a hose in which it would retrieve nutrients. It would have an artificial womb in which the baby grew. The prototype is expected to be released as soon as next year and will cost about 100,000 yuan, which is about 13,000 US dollars. Now, the company that's creating it is called Kaiwa Technology. Now, the company hasn't provided really much information over how the insemination process would work here, but we are really moving into the future if this is a real thing that actually is deployed. And now there are major ethical concerns and major ethical discussions going on online of whether or not this should even be done.
I don't know about that. It could be good for people that can't have kids, but then they could just adopt.
They're gonna have it in America, bro.
Elon Musk's latest project is a robot designed to carry human pregnancies. And while it sounds futuristic, it raises serious concerns about health, ethics, and the future of human connection. Seriously, pregnancy is not just about carrying a child. It's a complex process that impacts health, development, and bonding. Introducing robots into this equation could change everything about family dynamics and human development. So why on earth are we even exploring this path? Elon argues that it's about supporting families and tackling birth rate declines, but are we losing something critical by replacing nature with tech?
People are getting so far detached from what it is to be human.
We're fucked, bro.
Could The Rock actually become the next US president? Well, that's exactly what a lot of people are talking about today, because recently his odds of becoming the Democrats' next presidential nominee have surged on Polymarket above even Michelle Obama and Tim Walz. Now, realistically, his odds are still only sitting at about 2 to 3%, with Gavin Newsom and AOC being by far the top two contenders. But the crazy part is that he's up there without even saying that he's running. He has, although, dropped sneaky little hints. For example, in 2022, a poll came out that 46% of Americans would support his presidential run, and then he revealed that after that poll came out, multiple political parties approached him to see if he would run for US president in 2024. In 2016, he told GQ, "I can't deny the thought of being a governor or president is alluring." And then just a year later, he told Variety that the 2024 presidential campaign was a realistic consideration. Now, he mentioned what stopped him was his kids. He doesn't want them to be dragged into politics. But he still left the door slightly open, because he told Trevor Noah in a podcast if that's
ultimately what the people would want, then of course I would consider it.
And hypothetically, if he did run in 2028, the current odds said that he'd be up against JD Vance. So the question is Dwayne Johnson exactly what the Democrats need right now? Or would AOC and Gavin Newsom be a better option?
We may as well just make it Terry Crews and be done with it.
Yeah, bro. Idiocracy's in full effect.
That's what I thought!
to 100 piles of cremated human ashes have been found scattered in the Nevada desert. This is creepy. This is happening just south of Las Vegas, and federal officials are saying the remains were dumped on Bureau of Land Management's land, along with urn fragments and even zip ties. Scattering ashes privately is legal here, but investigators are saying this wasn't a family memorial. It looks like a mass dumping, and that points to something much darker. A lot of people are speculating this could just be a funeral home doing fraud and just trying to cut costs, but location is important here and it does spark some theories. In Las Vegas, it's not impossible to think mafia. Remember when Lake Mead receded and mob-style victims randomly started to appear? That discovery kind of reignited the theories that Las Vegas used to be a mafia graveyard, or still is. We have no idea what this is. Some people are saying it's the cartel. Some people are saying it's the mafia. Some are saying this is a funeral fraud because it's been exposed once or twice in Nevada and Colorado already. But we need answers because 100 remains of human ashes in piles in the desert is absolutely insane.
If they were from a funeral home trying to get rid of it, why would they separate them? You try and hide it.
Someone wanted them to be found, bro.
The UK government is forcing a mandatory digital ID on its population and they're pretending it's for safety. I'm about to expose them. And before I continue, I'd like to make something very clear. This is not a left versus a right issue. This is a government versus the people issue. That's a very important distinction to make. So with that said, the brick card, an idea initially proposed by Tony Blair, now being carried out by Keir Starmer, is effectively an all-encompassing digital ID. It will initially only store your passport, national insurance number, and other basic information. But what this really is the framework for full totalitarian control. And here are the two huge negatives that you need to be aware of. The first is that having all of your information stored in one centralized database makes you significantly more susceptible to life-changing data breaches and hacks. After all, this new announcement is a hacker's dream. Imagine waking up today as a hacker, and rather than having to obtain physical copies of identification, keys, passwords, back-end loopholes, and coding to find every detail about someone, it's now all going to be located in the same place. And for those who still don't understand, I'll make it clearer. It's like Voldemort voluntarily carrying around his Horcruxes with him and saying, "Come and get me, everything's in one place now." It defeats the purpose. The second and worst huge negative is that as it stands, the government already has access to all of the IDs they're claiming are going to be mandatory on the brick card. So the question must be asked, why is it necessary in the first place?
It's happening, bro. We're fucked.
Yeah, this is bad.
Millions of households across the UK have been scrimping, saving, and simply not managing, with energy bills hitting record highs. But also soaring are the profits of our largest energy supplier, British Gas. Today's report from British Gas shows its profits soared from 98 million to 969 million in the first half of this year compared to last. But take a closer look at the company's interim report, and it reveals that British Gas has benefited from Ofgem raising the energy price cap for consumers to the tune of £750 million in 18 months. That's 75% of all profits in that time. Ofgem's energy price cap is designed to stop suppliers struggling with rising wholesale gas prices from going out of business. More than 30 have gone bust since 2021. British Gas, however, which has taken on 700,000 new customers, has never been at risk of collapse. In fact, it's posted more than £1 billion in profit over the last 18 months alone.
This can't continue. Every major company's doing this. They're bleeding the country dry before the economy collapses. That's why they need control.
Yeah, bro. A lot of people can't afford to eat.
Winter is peak time for food banks, and with a number of people in need close to record highs, the one can trust is working hard to ensure no one misses out on meals. The cost of living crisis essentially comes from high housing, fuel, and food costs. It's been going on for so long now that many are accumulating serious debt, and the only way to manage is with help. The Trussell Trust is a national anti-poverty charity. It handed out over 1.4 million emergency food parcels in the last 6 months.
Hunger in the UK is not a problem about access to food. It's very much an income problem. 86% of people seeking support from food banks in the trussell community are on incomes so low that they're unable to afford to eat and stay warm and clean at the same time.
Campaigners say this level of food poverty can't continue.
And we need to see change. There are appalling levels of hunger and hardship in our communities right across the UK, and that's not something that we want to accept because we know change is possible.
And with Christmas coming, many depend on the kindness of others.
This ain't rocket science. Companies are doubling and tripling their profits, and the government are letting them get away with it. They're in on it.
Yeah, bro. They waste more money than anyone.
This was the logo before. Gov.uk. This was the logo. Perfectly good logo. But then they wanted it changed. No problem. They got a graphic designer to change it to this. That's what changed it to. If you can see, it's the exact same. The dot has been moved slightly up and the background has changed, which you can do on Canva in about 10 seconds. My 7-year-old daughter, if I asked my 7-year-old daughter to change the logo and she did that, I'd go, oh, bless her. Bless her. Maybe she's not cut out to be a graphic designer. She's 7. The government paid over £500,000 for this change. You know what's interesting? Does that not just show you they're couldn't give a monkeys on how they spend our money? So the average person, spends about 15 grand a year? The average employee? £15,000 a year on taxes. That's how much you pay. Because if you're making about 35 grand, you're going to pay about 15 grand. That means that you would have to work basically your entire working life just to pay for the logo.
There's no world where that logo cost $500,000. They're bleeding money out every which way they can.
Everyone's too distracted to see it, bro.
Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Breaking news. The TikTok deal has been finalized. CEO of Oracle, Larry Ellison, has purchased 80% of the company, with 20% remaining with ByteDance, which is the original owner of TikTok. So Larry Ellison, in this past year, has purchased CBS, Paramount, the Free Press, TikTok, and now he's in talk to buy CNN. That is a lot of power for one man. That is a lot of media power for one man. It's crazy. The richest man on the earth, Elon Musk, owns X. The second richest man on the earth is about to be the major owner of TikTok, Larry Ellison. The third richest owner owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. That's a lot of data, Mark Zuckerberg. The fourth richest owns the Washington Post, with his Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon. He also owns a lot of data. This looks like the billionaires are on a data war.
You were right about this TikTok deal.
Yeah, bro. I'm right about everything.
Don't know about that. Do us a favor, guys. Smash the like button.
Make sure you subscribe.
Scientists are baffled. 3I Atlas, that interstellar comet that's going through our solar system right now, appears to have reversed its thrust as it neared the sun. A comet from another star system slowing down? That shouldn't be possible. You know, guys, this is gotta be some kind of a psyop, right? Now, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has been warning us about this for months now, and said we should all take vacations before October 29th, which is today, so we're past the point of no return now. Most scientists, of course, call this just a comet, and it probably is, but Loeb says there is something like a 40 to 60% chance that it's something else. Something like an alien scout ship. Now, today also marks perihelion, which is its closest approach to the sun. And since October 21st, 3I Atlas has been perfectly hidden behind the sun, invisible to every telescope on Earth, which is super convenient. So if it is an alien ship, it would be the perfect time for it to perform something that we call an Oberth maneuver, or a gravity assist to slingshot it around the sun to change course, gain speed, sight unseen. But here's where it gets weirder. Just before the government shutdown, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the MRO, apparently captured an image of 3I Atlas as it passed by Mars. And Avi Loeb says that he asked to see this image, being a scientist and all, but NASA ignored him. No response, no release, total silence. And then the shutdown hit. So we've got no new official data or updates, which is super convenient and also super sus. But there was this recently released image that allegedly shows 3I Atlas. Now, I've seen some people say this is a hoax, a fake, It's just a photoshopped image of a hex bolt, but it also reminds me of the objects that were seen on the infamous STS footage from the space shuttle missions in the 90s from the Tether incident. Kinda similar looking, if you ask me. And now what's even more interesting is that the UN-backed International Asteroid Warning Network, the IAWN, has quietly placed 3i Atlas under continuous surveillance through January 2026, even though it's not going to come anywhere close to hitting us. Basically, they're calling it a monitoring exercise, but many think that it looks more like a global defense drill, or maybe this is all just a cover story. Because maybe it's not just a comet. Maybe this is a psyop, or a test for something bigger.
It's Project Bluebeam, bro. It's coming.
We've been saying that for years. If it was Bluebeam, why would they be holding back information?
Trust me, bro. It's a psyop. They replied to Kim Kardashian.
NASA's acting administrator Sean Duffy has replied to Kim Kardashian's inquiry about 3i Atlas, right? Kim says, wait, what's the tea about 3i Atlas? And Sean Duffy replies, NASA's observation shows that this is a third interstellar comet to pass through our solar system. No aliens, no threat to life here on Earth. And then goes down to kind of describe what 3i Atlas actually means, right? Which is a little bit strange. So, NASA, why the hell are you replying to Kim Kardashian's inquiry and not RV Loeb's and other astrophysicists and astronomers' inquiries about it, and thousands of other people like myself and other civilian populace that want to know more about the subject in question, right? Why are you replying to someone like this and not everyone else and researchers in the field that actually just want genuine questions and information? What's going on, right? NASA, you've been fumbling it hard recently, and I feel like, with the best respects, get a grip of yourself, alright? And let us know what the hell is going on. I mean, you guys know my thoughts on the whole subject itself, but the information that obviously you guys know about and are withholding, which seems like you're withholding, and not actually answering the answers or questions of the general populace. What is going on?
It's going to end up being a comet.
I'm telling you, bro. It's a psyop.
So over 20,000 emails related to the Epstein case have been made public, and there are a few in there that are making their rounds. Note that these are not the full official files that everyone's been asking about and waiting on. Those are still nowhere to be found. But out of all of these emails, this is the one that everyone's been talking about. It's an email exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark, and this is how it goes. So we have Mark writing to Jeffrey asking, how are you doing? A while back you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? Jeffrey hits him back with, all good, Bannon with me, referring to Steve Bannon, a former White House advisor who served in the first few months of President Trump's first administration. And here's the one. Mark then replies with, ask him, referring to Bannon, if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. What? Bubba is a common nickname given to Bill Clinton, and he's even referred to as Bubba Clinton in a few of these emails. And Jeffrey responds with, and I thought I had Tesouris, which I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's basically a Yiddish term for problems. Yiddish being a Judeo-German language. Mark hits him back with, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. I don't even want to try to explain that. But now everyone's asking, does Putin really have photos of Trump doing that? Mark Epstein, who's still alive, actually surprisingly responded to these claims, saying the message was being misread, that they were simply part of a humorous private exchange between two brothers and were never meant for public release or to be interpreted as serious remarks. Adding, for the avoidance of doubt, the reference to Bubba in this correspondence is not in any way a reference to former President Bill Clinton. And then Mark's spokesperson said that Bubba is a private individual who is not a public figure. So there is a Bubba?
Mate, what the fuck is going on in the world?
Bro, Bubba was a horse.
So Ghislaine Maxwell's got a horse named Bubba, which means there's only two outcomes here. One, he a horse. Two, Ghislaine Maxwell named a horse after Bill Clinton because he's hung like a horse. And then, which means it's massive, and this is a lose-lose situation, Donald.
Come on, Ted. I don't think that actually happened.
He blew both of them at the same time, bro. That's why he dances like that.
Young man, there's no need to feel down.
This is just the weirdest news ever, but do you guys remember the portrait of Bill Clinton that Jeffrey Epstein had in his Manhattan townhouse? That was seized by law enforcement, who said that it was just hanging there as soon as you walked in a room to the right. And then we have Bill's oddly mischievous reply to him getting asked about any connection to Epstein. Oh, the evidence is clear, huh? If that face doesn't say, you got me, I don't know what does. And everyone's just trying to connect the dots and make a whole thing out of this, which is just insane, but is also probably taking away from the severity of the other emails that were leaked. But then the White House official account starts posting stuff like this for apparent damage control just a few days after the emails got released, which honestly makes it look even more sus, and I don't know if this is like a giant publicity stunt for them, but that's what they did. And this is also a real photo taken in June 2000 at Trump Tower in New York of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. There have been a lot of AI edits of this, but the original photo is real. At the end of the day, maybe these emails really were just a joke, who knows? Referring to only this exchange in particular, specifically that message. There are some very disturbing emails in this leak of 20,000 that are definitely not a joke and should be taken very seriously. And maybe this whole Bubba thing is just a distraction from what's really hidden in those emails.
They've had plenty of time to clean up those files. Anything they release now is just going to be a distraction.
It's going to get a lot worse, bro.
You've been told who killed Epstein?
Yeah.
Can you say?
No.
Probably best not to.
Probably best not to.
He died in a prison cell, but had he not yet been convicted?
No, it was very much the early stages. He in 2008, 2009, he served a short sentence for soliciting a minor. This was the Palm Beach police investigation. He spent the night in prison, but he was able to go to his office during the day. It was a very, very lenient sentence, having everyone thought he'd be banged to rights and, in prison for the rest of his life. And then later, he was arrested in July 2019, and this was a federal charge. So this was the FBI investigating him because of offenses he'd committed outside Florida. So that was a state case. But he was only literally just been arrested. He hadn't had a trial. So this is why his death is surprising. He had everything to play for at that stage, and the idea of community when there was still a long way to go in the legal process just doesn't make sense to even to the victims' lawyers. So I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think there are strong arguments to suggest that and we know all the cock-ups, the cameras that were switched off, and the guards that weren't there, and the autopsy that wasn't made public, and Michael Barden's autopsy suggesting it was murder. So, there's lots and lots of evidence to support that. And maybe, the government will the story of Epstein's death will come out. I suspect all those papers have been, destroyed. The person who did it, and I know I've been told who did it, I think has been spirited away, and no one's going to find them.
We might not know who did it, but we know who ordered it.
Yeah, bro. It was Israel.
For fuck's sake, Ted. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Tonight, we take a closer look at how in just 15 years, a comedian and UFC commentator has become one of the most influential voices in America.
People like Mr. Rogan prey on people's vulnerabilities. They prey on fear. To think that someone has such remarkable power is something that I look at in disbelief.
I applaud, by the way, you and the other podcasters.
But not all opinions are created equal.
Trump did like 100 million views on Joe Rogan's show.
I definitely regret that we didn't do it.
This was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time.
Dude, look at that. And what did he say?
Zay just said I won him the election.
Are you the most powerful interviewer on the planet? Or are you the most powerful interview that the planet has ever seen?
This is a really big deal for us. We've got a special guest in the house tonight. The king of podcasts. He's spoken to some of the biggest names on the planet, and now he's here with us. The one, the only, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
What the fuck?
I told you, bro. He's just a puppet.
Wait, be polite. It's Joe fucking Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
For fuck's sake.
Told you, bro.
You were fighting, and then your pal talked you into becoming
My friend grabbed me by my shoulders and said, "You should be a comedian."
So then what happened?
I went to an open mic night.
What's up? What's going on, huh?
From that, I realized that like these unconventional paths, they brought me something that I wasn't getting from regular life. It brought me self-esteem.
That's the crazy part, right? Joe actually came from mainstream TV. He started out as a comedian, but his first big break, acting on news radio from 95 to 99.
All right.
Joe, what are you doing?
Fixing the comp here.
Why don't you fix it over there?
Because the light's better over here.
Joe was very outspoken, always. I mean, his stand-up was really outspoken. They sort of also infused in his character a little bit of a conspiracy theorist thing that came from Joe.
Why did he quit acting, though?
I hated dealing with actors. I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like I couldn't be myself. The whole thing to me was like this weird play that people were putting on, where everybody was trying to pretend to be something so that they can get auditions. Everybody is trying to conform to what they think everybody wants them to be like. You have to talk like they talk. You have to say things that's going to ingratiate you with them. You got to fit in. You got to fit in. So everybody's scared to do anything that's not inside the political norm. Right. You got to stay inside those boundaries.
It was the right idea going into podcasting, Joe.
Joe Rogan.
Fucking hell.
It wasn't even his idea, bro. He just copied Tom Green.
Everybody get inside! They're fish. Actual fish. Whole street's covered. This is Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Guys, this is tilting and dangerous, and let me tell you why. Now, first of all, that video is AI. I'll explain why later, but for some reason, many people are claiming that it is real. And some people that requested this video to me pointed it out. They said people are saying they looked it up, they Googled it, and that it's real. And keep in mind, I already know that this video is AI, right? So, I go to see what's happening, and I see these people saying that they looked it up. So I did what they did. I Googled it. And here's my Google search. Did it actually rain fish in Blue Ridge, Georgia? And look who said that it did. The AI overview from Google. So in case you're missing the point, these people are listening to AI telling them that an AI generated video is not AI generated, but instead real. Even though when you click on the sources are the video from Instagram and from Facebook. This is pathetic. I mean, there are so many signs that it is AI. We literally have fish falling out of the roof in the video, right through it. The voice is a giveaway. The constant clipping and blurring and inconsistencies are all over the place. But we have people ignoring these signs. They're ignoring what they're seeing with their own two eyes, that it is obviously AI because the first thing that pops up on Google says it's real.
That's fucking crazy. What about when you can't tell if it's AI?
I told you, bro. We're fucked.
The next generation are in trouble.
Welcome to 2025, where only girls, adult creators are being invited to speak at colleges. This is the University of Washington, and look what the professor herself posted on her social media. So Ari dropped by my class yesterday. She is an actress, influencer, and top creator on OnlyFans. She schooled us on a content creation. Look at the whole class. Look how many people there are. What she wishes she could tell her younger self, and answering our burning questions. And her craziest moment, probably from her OnlyFans subscribers, which is just a bunch of weirdos. And look at all the little kids just so excited to see her. Like, how is this real? This is a clip of her I found on TikTok talking to the class, and it looks like this is a psych class according to this clip. And she talks about how she met her boyfriend, Young Gravy, who is also one of the top creators on OnlyFans.
I met him on Instagram 5 years ago. That's amazing. Yeah. And did how long did it take for him to respond? I think it was like the same day. I told him to add my Snapchat, and then we hung out after that a few times.
This is a college class. We are so cooked.
It's looking like idiocracy is a best case scenario at this point.
Yeah, bro. Social media cooked their brains.
Australia's trying to do something about it.
Australia has just changed the internet forever. For the first time in history, a country has begun enforcing an unprecedented law. From today, everyone under the age of 16 will be banned from using almost all forms of social media. And depending on how this goes, other countries have already expressed interest in doing the same. This morning, millions of Australians woke up to this message. But even more interestingly, it wasn't all of them. Many under 16s report still being able to just scroll without any notifications, or even just being able to use their second account where they lied about their age.
You're going to miss your social media.
I'm not removed from anything. The ban hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked? Why is that?
Because my camera's terrible, so they think I'm 16. But that is where Australia's heavy-ass threat comes in. They said that it's on the social media companies to come up with ways to keep under 16s off of their platforms, or else they could be fined a whopping 49 million Australian dollars. So from this, two major questions remain. How will they do this without requiring everyone in the country to prove their age? And two, what the hell are all of these teens gonna do with all this freed up time? In fact, some teens have even found the time to challenge this ruling in court. So just a warning, be prepared for other countries to follow, because as one expert puts it, it could become proof of concept that gains traction around the world. In fact, in certain countries like Malaysia, government officials have already expressed their interest in doing the same. But the ultimate question is, would the world be better off if teenagers couldn't use social media, or is this a stupid law that is bound to fail?
This is a tough one, but I think it could be a good idea, as long as it don't lead to digital IDs.
It will, bro. All roads lead to digital IDs.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, how's it going, you big cockney space case?
Shut it.
Listen, did you manage to shift that ticket for tonight's spiritual gathering?
No, mate, it's all yours. We're celebrating. We just hit 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, nice one!
Yeah, mate, it's fucking nuts. It's gonna be a mad one tonight.
Cool.
For fuck's sake.
I'll catch you later, mate. Don't go changing, try and please me, alright?
Yeah, nice one, bruv, yeah.
Oh, nice one, brother.
Nice one, brother.
Nice one, brother.
I said, nice, bruv.
Nice one, brother.
I said, nice, bruv.
Fucking nice one, brother.
Nice one, bruv. Brother.
Fuck off.
Ted, bring that Polaroid camera out tonight. It's gonna get messy.
We've come a long, long way together, through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like I should.